Today's A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan podcast is brought to you by
Sport Subaru, Sport Mitsubishi, right there on West Colonial Drive in front of the fairgrounds. And if you want to talk to someone that's going to help you out, Mike Stacks will help you. And they've got 0% financing right now on 2020 Ascents, Foresters. I had a Subaru Forester. I've got a WRX.
Another cool thing that they're offering, and this isn't just Mitsubishi or Subaru or even the Chevy side of things, they're offering a lot of these at-home test drives. Like if you go to dmchevy.com, you can find out more information. But they'll give you a 24-hour test drive. They'll take the vehicle to you, and then 24 hours later, they can pick it up. Gives you a little bit more time in the car. And for those of you that don't want to go out, you don't have to. You know, I mean, look, we are trying to stay safe. We're taking this serious, and you should as well. And all of our friends at the Sport Auto Group, they're definitely taking it seriously, but they still want to do some stuff for you.
Yep, talk to J.C. Harrelson over at Don Mealy Chevrolet in Claremont, but Daniel's right. dmchevy.com for more information, but they'll do a 24-hour test drive where they'll drop maybe a Chevy Silverado, which I drive and I bought from Don Mealy Chevy. They'll drop it off your house. You get to drive it around for the day, see if you like it or whatever.
Here's one that benefits people, well, anybody really, but like someone like my mom, right? You know, she's a little bit older. She can't take her car out. On the Subaru and Mitsubishi side, how about at-home maintenance? And what that means, they'll come pick your car up, you know, take it, get it done, bring it back to you. That way you're not having to put yourself out there and do things that are going to make you uncomfortable. And one more thing that I'd like to point out about our good friends, Sport Subaru, Mitsubishi, and DM Chevy. They've been doing so much to try and help Feeding America. Over $10,000 last month, they were able to kind of stock that away to benefit our local Second Harvest Food Bank. And so many listeners, all you guys out there buying cars, supporting our sponsors, not only are you helping us, but you're helping other people that might need a meal right now.
Yeah, 100%. So if you're looking for a vehicle, it's Don Mealy Chevrolet in Claremont or Sport Subaru, Sport Mitsubishi right there on West Colonial Drive. Either talk to Mike Stacks in the Subaru Mitsubishi side or J.C. Harrelson on the DM Chevy side. Get yourself a vehicle. They got really good deals right now. And like Daniel said, do you want to do that 24-hour test drive or they'll come to you and do all the service for you?
At-home maintenance, buddy. That's where it's at.
They'll help you out. And after this whole thing's over, you can come in and watch the show.
Live from the Streamline Mortgage Solutions studio, it's Orlando's own Tom and Dan.
Whoopee! Hello, this is your Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan program. We hope that you will find our presentation precise, joke heavy, and just right. Thanks.
Show number 570.
Hey, show number 570 of A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha, our producer, is here.
Hey. Friday. It's Fun Friday.
I was going to say Pizza
Fun Friday.
Caesar the dog is here, hanging out with sales guy extraordinaire Butler.
Hello.
Chat room has said you are the best at butt scratching, Butler.
I am good at butt scratching.
Or as my daughter said, Butler, big fat Butler lives in a hutler.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, that's what she said. She was trying to bully Butler. Welcome to the show, everybody. Happy Friday. What's going on?
Well, I'll plug real quick.
Yeah, plug it.
Our YouTube channel. Daniel's been working hard on it.
I have.
Been putting up videos, so if you want...
good ones, too.
Yeah. I mean, we've got...
quality shit.
The quarantine cribs we did with Busey, with Seth, with...
Big Tim Murphy.
Yeah. Well, that one...
Tuttle in his car.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Big Tim Murphy one we had.
I mean, we're doing a whole spectrum, you know.
The Tuttle one was sad. Although I talked to him this morning, actually. Tuttle said that he has more people downloading his podcast than ever, so he's doing really well.
Good.
So he's super darn happy about it. But anyway, welcome to the show, guys.
And if you want to, help us out without spending any money if you subscribe on Twitch.
My God.
You have to download the Twitch app and search Tom and Dan Live.
It pops right up, though.
And then subscribe to that, and Amazon gives us $3 a month. Now you have to do it like every month. You have to resubscribe, but it'll prompt you to do that. But that's a way that you can support the show.
Yeah, jump in there and help us out.
Literally, you don't have to give us anything. You have to be an Amazon Prime member, but it's a promotion that Amazon, they own Twitch.
Well, chances are, I mean, I know people now that swore up and down they'd never be Amazon Prime members that kind of had to be Amazon Prime members. You know what I mean? Like, my mom included, not the biggest internet navigator, doesn't really trust it when it comes to paying bills and stuff like that. Boy, she changed her tune. But anyway, This is where we're at. Happy Friday, everybody. Look at this. Look what Butler found.
Oh, that White Claw 70s.
He found the White Claw 70 Clementine. This is pretty good, man.
I need to get the 70-calorie White Claws. I know they're less alcohol, but I want that.
Yeah,
just by a little bit.
Yeah, I like having a few White Claw on ice at the end of the night, and the lower calorie, lower alcohol content ones. These
are good.
Keeps the party going long.
Yeah, Butler and I have been extending our parties lately by trying to find either. Well, we started with
they're like session White Claw.
Yeah, they are like session.
They're almost like
Claws.
super session. Yeah, because they're actually lower than like 4.
What's it, like a 3.2?
Like 3.7, I think, or 3.8.
Yeah, I'll have to. I mean, I have the can here. I could look on it, but I'm not going to do that. It's funny is Butler and I started with like cheaper like shit beer. So we started with like your Mick Ultras and your Mick Ultra Golds, and then we got into like low calorie craft beers. So we've been trying all of those. We tried Bell's. We both really like the
Dogfish.
The Dogfish, and it's hard to find.
Yeah.
Because, obviously people are drinking more now. But I love a good low-calorie, low-alcohol content IPA. It's pretty solid. And Dogfish's is tasty.
And with a good flavor profile. That's
Yeah.
You got those 70...
3.7s, yeah.
At White... where at? Publix?
I got that over at
Yeah.
Publix. Yeah.
No, we beat up an old lady to get these.
Yeah.
Pushed her down.
So
She tapped out real quick, though.
all right. So it's not too often I wait to tell a story, but this one I had to, and it was basically, I don't really have to, but I made an agreement to that I'd wait until Max was out of his VPK school. Like once school was over, I was allowed to tell that, this particular story.
I've never seen you kind of adhere to the I guess the story gates. And I've never seen you do that ever.
Only because we learned that other parents were listeners, and I found out that there was a listener dad that was I didn't even know. It's kind of like when the two worlds come. Like usually I'm open about everything because I just assume I'm like, all these people, they'll never hear it, whatever. And then I found out listeners. I'm like, ooh.
So it'd be like because American Air and Heat's at my house today doing some work. It'd be like if they were at your house, which they were this week. If they walked in and they were like, "Hey man, first things first, we got to see Soapy Butt." Like if they knew, you'd be like, my worlds are colliding because it's supposed to be one separate Soapy Butt world and one separate, this is the
professional sponsorship
world.
Yeah.
And then they kaboom, thunderclap.
It happens every once in a while, and it's always a shocking collision, let's say. By the way, American Air did put a brand new system in my house.
How's that working for
you? Dude, it is unbelievable, man. I didn't know how bad I had it before. Well,
we did. We'd come visit your house. I'd be like, God damn, this place is hot.
There was hot spots all over the place. What I realized, the main thing, like, not only do I have a brand new, awesome AC system that works really efficiently, but my ducts were the same.
Got all the raccoons out of it.
And the ducks.
It was
he had ducks in his ducks.
It was the original ones from the 70s.
He's playing duck.
Or they all deteriorated and stuff.
Well, not only that, but it was made for a 70s AC, and they didn't.
Your wife said your ducks had holes in them.
Well, I only had one return,
saying,
so it was loud. Now the new one, like, there's a return in every room now.
The way it's supposed to be,
and I guess that's standard now. But they came and put a return, so I got multiple returns in my living room and a return in every room. And it sucks the heat out there fast. Like my kids' rooms, like, you were notoriously hot because they were on the other side of the house, and now they're colder. Like, it's great, dude. I didn't know it was going to make that big of a difference.
I'm underpowered, by the way. First thing they told me. They came over this morning, they got there early, and they looked at it, and they're like, yeah, man, the tonnage or whatever. I don't know nothing about air conditioning, but they're like, this is way underpowered for, you have 4 stories and it gets hotter as you go up. And they're like, this is not what you should have. So
anyway,
probably bring your light bill down.
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so.
They've estimated between $80 and $100.
Dude, $100 a month is no bullshit. That's a lot of money. But anyway, they were great. Their techs are great. So American Air. Shout out to those guys.
So my wife basically said, all right, you could tell the story once Max is officially out of that school, and because the circumstances or whatever, his graduation is done. It's like he's moving on to kindergarten.
Graduation's not done yet. Do you need to wait till next week?
No, because
oh man, you love fucking things up, don't you?
Because
don't get in trouble.
I have a very bad feeling about this. You told me
graduation is just one it's one kid at a time. That just
gotcha.
Samantha, don't you love this? Don't you love the? I promised I would wait, and I did wait, and actually I didn't wait.
I'll wait a little bit. Can't wait no more.
Gonna wait.
I got the go ahead basically.
From who? From yourself?
Well, from my wife, because
I gave myself the go ahead.
I told her what happened, and she's like, "Wait to tell this one because it's super embarrassing." But to you.
To me?
No, to me.
No, I was like, what the hell?
What did I do?
Like, damn,
so
what'd you do?
I'll start on.
I took my pants off at Max's graduation again.
Now you're on a list.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of the school year in 2019, this was last September or August or whenever the hell it starts. Which, by the way, seems like forever ago.
What, 2019?
Yeah. Like, and in a totally different world. It really does. Like,
well, it was kind
where
of
you could just go wherever you wanted. Anyway, so back then, Crystal was extremely busy. Her and Bart were selling and buying houses like crazy. BDMs were buying and selling houses. So
Gangbusters.
I was taking the boys to school, and so she could stay home. We'd help them get ready, and then I would go and take Tommy first because his school starts at 8:30.
Right.
And
then you go get smoothies.
Get smoothie. You guys heard the whole routine.
The Captain Kid.
Yep.
Yeah, Captain Kid for Max. And
or does he want the shagadelic?
He'd take 2 sips and then it'd rot in my WRX.
God damn it. The amount of waste.
It's a waste crazy.
You have no idea. This new air conditioner, they just put the windows wide open. They're just blowing it all out. Let's cool
It's too
the neighborhood.
cold. Open the windows.
Wow, let's cool all of Castleberry.
Mosquitoes mixing on. Close the windows. So just air,
everything. Waste it all. Just waste it all.
Anyway, so that was the routine. So I'd take Tommy to school, and then, by the way, I did get a little bit of trouble with Tommy with taking him to school, and the fact that in the car line we'd pull up, and how it works, and then you'll you'll walk Maisie to school, so it's easy for you. But
I'll just walk.
So every morning on the elementary school car line, all the parents would line up, and then you go and you drop your kid off. There's a space for 1 through 5th grade, and then the kindergartners have an area.
Oh wow, they separate it like that. Oh.
Yeah, because the kindergartners have people that open the door and kind of usher the kids because they're younger.
I would do that when I was a crossing guard, or not a crossing guard. What is
safety
it?
guard.
Safety guard. Yeah.
But
we opened them for everybody. It wasn't by grade.
It was safety patrol, and those were the nerds.
I think everybody.
Correct.
Yeah.
The safety patrol does it for the older kids too, but they take a little more care for the kindergartners.
Gotcha.
Whatever. Anyway, so
you went in the wrong section?
No. This was a long screw up for me. It started with Tommy, when he pulled up, obviously first day it was seatbelts on, pull up, and then once we got to the complete stop.
You said seatbelts on as if that's a new thing.
Well, I'll explain. I put
put
the car in gear, and Tommy requested to get out of the passenger seat. So I'd be like, all right, take your seatbelt off, now climb into the passenger seat and get out. And but
what vehicle are you in?
I'm the WRX, which plays into it too, because I realized maybe the WRX was a
you had a momentary. This guy had a goddamn midlife boner crisis. I gotta get a sports car. I'm a big time podcaster.
Maybe it wasn't the best choice for taking the kids to school. I'm looking around and minivan, SUV minivan. I'm the only guy at the goddamn Travis Pastrana mobile. What am I doing here? Loud.
You guys need to get yourself an import tuner.
Anyway, so then as days went by, Tommy would be we'd pull up in the in the car line, and then Tommy would be like, can I get out? Can I take my seatbelt off? And like, yeah. Slowly but surely, it inched, more and more, closer to us pulling into the car line where he'd want to get out of his seatbelt and climb into the front seat, where it soon became, after, like, let's say weeks.
He was driving you there. And you
I was on my cell phone.
And you're like, Tommy, can I get out of here?
Say we read that.
Well, it became where as soon as we pulled into the school, because the car line's a big loop, right?
Yeah.
And as soon as we pulled in, then Tommy would already have a seatbelt off, climbing.
This kid loves school. He's trying to get the hell out of that car.
Well, he wants to be
Loves
prepared.
school.
What Tommy has like time anxiety.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm telling you, Tommy is me
I
when
like
I was
that.
a kid.
So-
This is exactly how I was.
Time anxiety is a good thing.
So he wanted to be
I don't know. It'll drive you nuts.
prepared with his backpack on by the time the security guard opened, or the kid
Safety guard,
opened the door, and so he'd get anxiety about it, so he'd want to be prepared.
Yes.
Anyway, he'd be walking over. I'll be on my gear shifter, but like,
Oh my God.
and so. One day, and by the way, we're always late. You know me. So, like, we're always
That's weird.
You're torturing this child.
cutting it close.
Kid with time anxiety.
Exactly.
Dad makes him late.
And one day,
Meanwhile, Max is strolling into a Smoothie King, getting the goddamn.
Yeah. Doing his dances.
Not worried at all about time.
and by the way, this is not the story that I was promised to wait till the end.
Okay.
Of
Oh, this is just the warm
lead up, the lead up.
Oh my
This
God.
was the one I just thought of that
This
I
is
haven't
the
told yet.
opener.
But so one day, everything worked out perfect. I made the pancakes at the right time.
Oh my God! International House of Daddy over here, cooking it up.
The kids were up at the right time. They were in good mood, so they got clothed, and they were like, we were out of the door. We caught every green light.
Nice.
So
Loving it.
one morning, I pulled up there, and just like normal, Tommy climbs out and starts climbing into the front seat, but there's nobody in line. So I'm like cruising down the kid's car line and doing like
You want to do
20
some drift? Let's drift. Yang, 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 yang,
because
yang,
usually it's stop and go, so it seems like totally safe to have Tommy get in the front seat.
Also, there are back doors to this car.
yeah, no, but
I'm surprised they didn't say anything the very first time you tried this.
Well, I did try to Google it.
Wait, so
No.
basically you're driving a car with a kid not restricting. All right.
Which
I'm seeing it here.
By the way, I did mention to my wife that Tommy likes to get out of the front seat.
Why does he like to get out the front?
I don't know. It's just that he feels more comfortable getting out the front.
That's super uncomfortable.
And he can get prepared with his
It's
backpack.
wider. It's
He's
bigger.
got to climb over him.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But when he's sitting in his car seat, it's hard to get his backpack on and get ready to get out. It goes all to time.
I mean,
anxiety,
for
right?
God's sake, don't tell him what to do. You let him tell you what to do, motherfucker.
I thought it was harmless.
Jeez, are you crazy?
I was like, all right. By the way,
You can't tell that kid what to do. You got to let him do whatever he wants.
try Google. I was afraid to ask anybody because then they're gonna be like, "What?"
Shaming you,
yeah. So I just kept it quiet. I was like, and I tried to see if other parents are doing it, but I can't see they're in minivans. I can't see what's going
of
on.
course they're not.
Well, you've also got 1% limo tent on your dickmobile. Great car, by the way, but just, not practical.
Yeah. And then I kind of breached the topic with Crystal, and she's like, "Don't let him get in the front seat. What if you run into someone and the airbags come out? It'll crush his bird bones." And
She's not wrong.
Holy shit.
And then I was like, "I never."
She'd been waiting on that reply.
And then I'm like, hey, I deemed it safe because we're just inching forward. We're basically
135.
stopped.
Yeah, I mean, I put
Accidents
Maisie.
happen.
Look, I'm fully okay with taking the brunt of all parents and everything. I put Maisie on my scooter and I do circles around the parking lot, no helmets on.
And but anyway, that one day where we got there early, and I was cruising through the car line, and then I saw the resource officer. He gave me a stare, and then I was like, "Oh, I don't think we should do this."
I make up for that.
He didn't do anything, but by the
Well,
way,
you can't do anything because if you're a resource officer, you're fucking useless. You do nothing. You have no power.
But
Not even a real police officer.
the way he looked at me, I was like, "I don't think we could do this anymore, Tommy. I think this is."
I think we're busted, kid.
And then he's like,
boy.
He's like, I was like, I'll give you chocolate just to do what I tell you. I'll bribe him. Anyway, that's not the story.
Okay.
The story is one day, so after that, I drop off Tommy, I drop off Max, and we have our own routine, get the smoothie, go, and we'd always get to his VPK, which is in, I've told you before, a church, and
A haunted church.
like most VPKs are, and And so we'd usually get to his school like 5 to 8 minutes early, and then our routine being I give him the phone, and then we text mommy the poop emoji, the video thing where you can make the poop emoji say things.
Yes.
And then we look in the phone and we go poo 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 poo. And that's it.
Okay, all right.
About 1 minute of that.
Boy, you're really you're making these kids insane.
He loves it.
You're making them crazy people.
And then we send that, and we send other.
It's amazing how
emojis.
and this is not a diss, and I don't want you to take it this way, but it's amazing how. The things that you do with your boys are so juvenile, and the things that I do with Maisie are there's no I want that. I want to do poo poo. I want to do that, but no, she's not.
She's an adult. She's more of an adult than you are.
Her mom. She just totally more of an adult because she's more like her mom. And I'm a fucking a fat 43-year-old baby.
Girls also mature more quicker than boys, but still at this age, she's pretty damn mature for me.
But you nailed it.
She's doing my taxes. She's like, you screwed up big time, Mr. Tom. I'm like, I know, Maisie.
You can't write off chocolate bribes.
Just make sure there's no red flags.
She'll take care of you. She knows.
So anyway, we do the whole poo-poo emoji, and then we go to school. And the way...
So you were like wet mouth.
Yeah.
We had a guy that called in that said that you can't make fun of Manny anymore because you've got it.
So at the beginning of the year, VPK, you're allowed to walk with your kid all the way to the classroom, and they have to put away their water bottle, take out their lunch pail or box, put that in their cubby.
There's like a routine, sure.
And then take out their little folder, and then put their book bag away. It's the whole thing. Yep. And then after like Christmas, then you're not allowed to walk. Then they have to do it themselves.
Yeah, they have to do it themselves.
You stay by the lobby, and that's getting them ready for like eventually kindergarten, which then they just have to get out of the car and do everything. So, I'd walk up there and with all the other parents, and I'd stand there while Max.
Do you talk to him? Because you're not a small talk guy.
No small talk. I just stand there in the shadows. All the other parents are doing chit chat, and I just watch. And then I give Max a high five, and then he goes inside.
Okay.
So one day, and we do our normal routine. I'm standing there, and Max is getting ready, and then one of Max's teachers, he's got two, looks up, and now she is a new teacher that wasn't there when Tommy was there because they both went to the same VPK.
Yeah.
And so this new teacher is like probably fresh out of college, younger. Woman.
Maybe she'll. Maybe
this is why they were told not to. And she,
maybe she'll like you rev your WRX a couple times. You guys could go to the skating rink.
So that's exactly the reason why my wife told me not to. Because it's not that she's very nice and she's a very good teacher, and Max likes her a lot as a teacher, but she.
How's her tease?
She looks up.
That's too far.
And I was wearing. The White Claw promo glasses, right? And she looks up and she sees them and she's like, "Oh, I love White Claw."
Are you drunk right now? Oh my God, you smell like White Claw.
I have some in my coffee mug.
Go rev your WRX. Oh my God.
And she was like, "Oh
my God, this is just the mid-level trim. You didn't go for the full package. I can't date you."
So she's like, she's like, "Those are awesome glasses. I love White Claw, whatever."
Oh, you won't lose.
God.
If you want some White Claw glasses, somebody give me a hell yeah. Feel like I'm back at Club La Vela.
So I did. My first thought was like, because
to her.
White Claw gives us promos item. They're just some promo glasses that we have a bunch of here.
They're really nice though. They're hard to find.
And they are more rare.
Yeah,
but,
they're more rare.
So my immediate thought was like, I'll just give her the ones off my head. But then like the kids and the moms were like coming in there. So then I was like,
what's your favorite flavor, lime or ruby grapefruit? Speaking of, I like your ruby grapefruit.
She got distracted and whatever, and then I was like, "Oh, this is gonna what?" And I was like, "I'll just get her a new pair." Like giving her mine is weird.
Greasy, yeah.
And so I was
also, weird move if she doesn't know what you do for a living.
Yeah. No one
because then you just look like
why
like
do
you're flirting with her. Like, have my glasses.
Well, he was flirting with her.
No, I wasn't.
And he has continuously been flirting with her.
Does she think you're single dad?
No,
he looks like one.
That's true.
WRX disheveled, doesn't know how the lines were.
Yeah.
Where there's
drunk, White Claw glasses.
There's a
High-fiving the kid. Yep.
Yeah, only single dads high-five their kid going in. That's true.
I do judge the other, because there's a disproportionate amount of moms compared to the dads that drop off the kids. There's
more dads or more moms?
More moms, by far.
Really?
Yeah, there's only 3.
See, when I was growing up, it was more dads. Like
Really?
in the morning. Yeah, when I rode with my dad, it would be like dads, and then in the evening, it was moms.
I feel like it's always been more moms.
Yeah,
I'm sure it is, but I'm saying from my experience, like when I would go there, it was like dads are more likely to be a morning guy than a late guy.
But I also would say that, especially like, I don't know how it is now, but when I was a kid, moms were just more involved in school stuff in general.
Yeah.
Like PTA meetings.
100%.
So, yeah, there was like me and like 2 other dads that I'd see regularly.
Yeah.
And then occasionally, like the one
Do you
dad.
guys give the nod because you're the only dad?
Yeah, we give the dad nod.
Chat room coming hard with the hot takes because dads actually have real jobs.
No, that's not true.
Yikes.
Well, I mean,
it's a little true. I mean, being a mom is pretty easy. I think we can all agree that, stay at home, you eat bonbons.
Well, a lot of moms have jobs and drop their kids off at school and go to PTA meetings.
Yeah, what's wrong with them?
So, anyway.
You didn't marry right.
So, and this kind of ties into me being a fan of bribery. And
oh no, hold on. BDM Christine said, "Oh my God, he was future cheating then too."
No, this has nothing to do with cheating or anything. This has to do with, and I'll explain,
with bribing a young college teacher with White Claw glasses to give your son straight A's.
Well, I think, and I've said this before, is bribery works. It always has worked, and it continues to work, and I do it. It's gotten a bad name because of the whole like bribing a cop and like that's illegal and stuff. But in every other instance, like paying someone money to do what you want them to do and them being more motivated to do it, that's basic capitalism. Like that's literally how everything works.
You're greasing the wheel. There's nothing wrong with that. I do it at music school. I make no bones about it. In fact, it was the biggest piece of advice you gave me that was 100% correct.
Yeah.
Christmas rolls around, they get nice gifts.
So how many cum futons did you give me?
I'm just telling you, like... So, in my mind, when the White Claw glass, I was like, oh, well, when I leave here, I'll just call, like, Steven, and...
Wow, what? No, this is too far. You're going out of your way to get brand new sunglasses?
Well, our White Claw rep...
just bring her something we have here.
She's very attractive.
And then
she must be. You're doing too much.
You're going a little further.
You go further than... This is beyond what you do here. For your own employees, by the way.
I pay you guys.
I agree.
I work for you.
You didn't even
bring... She doesn't work for you.
I know, but that's why the bribery comes in.
Didn't even bring our goddamn cilantro today.
Yeah, you'd have your wife bring it.
You'd have your wife bring the cilantro, and you're calling our White Claw rep to get a pair of
plastic sunglasses
for a teen teacher.
Oh,
Meet me on I-4. Stat.
So
you told your wife this?
I'm surprised you did.
It's
the details are fuzzy.
Just wait for it. It gets worse. And because my idea was that I'll get her some White Claw stuff, promo items, because Steven...
now she's getting a whole prize pack.
Steven, you got any more of those White Claw bikinis?
Because...
a bunch of Brazilian style?
Because...
size 2 or 3, very small.
Back to bribery.
Big titties, though.
If I get her the better, like something...
exclusive.
Yeah.
Get her the sweater.
Then
the Christmas sweater.
In my mind, they'll treat Max better. He'll get preferential treatment. It's like how bribery works.
Yeah.
Now
I'm on board. That's all you had to say.
Bofa's right. He can't leave Sam a fucking voicemail. I begged you for my birthday for an email.
No, the voicemail was Ross. The email was Sam.
Right, correct.
Again,
make sure this transaction happens in front of other parents.
I didn't even get.
My wife had to ask Tom yesterday for my paycheck.
That's right. I did hear that.
But he can get a White Claw sweater.
Yeah, he can.
Hot teacher.
It's your company. You write your own checks. Anyway, and I don't need to bribe my employees. I pay them.
I would love to be bribed, and I own the company.
The whole point.
Wait a minute, was that meat package a bribe? I don't know what's going on anymore.
That was quality meat and a meat shortage.
You're right. And I'm getting cilantro. You know what? I'm fine with it.
We're going out on her White Claw boat next week.
So I leave there and I call up Steven on because back then I would drive from Max's school straight to the studio.
Yeah.
And so I leave there, call up Steven. I'm like, hey, Steven, can you get me...
Can't believe you did this.
Can you get me some of those White Claw promo glasses? And he's like, yeah, man, yeah, for sure. Anything for you. And then it's like, and do you have any other promo stuff that's branded White Claw? Because I know they have tons of, like, they're a giant corporation. They have a ridiculous...
we got a rug. Well, we made that. But
they got Yeti coolers.
Yeah, they got Yeti coolers, rugs, bottle
beanies,
openers, hats,
koozies.
beanies,
So
sweaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, all birds. Yeah, all kinds of crazy
So
stuff.
he's like, yeah, dude, no problem. He's like, when you need it by, I was like, whenever, and he's like,
Before the end of the school year.
and he's like,
I'm picking Max up at 2:00.
so he's like, I got a meeting with a client near like Maitland. I can meet you tomorrow morning. What time? And then I was like, well, around like 8:45 to 9. I'm around this. He's like, yeah. I got a meeting at 9. I'll just give it to you before. Then I was like, perfect. Tomorrow I'll just get the White Claw swag and then deliver
swag bag for my honey.
Deliver it to the teacher, and then I'll be a hero, and then she'll treat Max better because of how bribery works. And then I'm just thinking,
I'm on board.
And not that she's taken as a bribe, not that she accepts bribes. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, in my mind,
you're doing a good thing for a White Claw fan, and it could benefit your son a little bit. I don't see anything wrong with it.
So
I still want to see a picture.
Next morning rolls around, and I do the whole thing. Drop Tommy off. Me and Max get the smoothie, go there, and then
you remembered to go get the White Claw stuff, right?
After the smoothie place, Steven texts me. He's like, "Hey, where are you?" I'm like,
I had to drag off in the bathroom so I don't get too excited in front of her.
I was like, "I'll meet you here." So I meet Steven, and then he goes to his like a White Claw truck, and then I'm like, all right, and he pulls out a White Claw promo basket. Now it's not
like an Easter basket of goodness.
It's not a giant basket. Like it's not so.
Wait
giant.
a minute, your hands. Hold on, subconsciously, your hands made this. That's a big fucking basket, dude.
It's a medium basket.
It's a small Yeti cooler.
That's a $375 Yeti cooler filled with only the finest of White Claw accoutrement.
And I see it, and then he's like, "Here you go, man. Your BDMs will love this." And so because I didn't tell him,
you're an asshole. He thinks it's for our listeners, and you're just giving it to a teacher.
Well, I mean, hopefully she's a listener. Well, not today, but tomorrow.
And so
Dad burn.
It was bigger than I expected in my mind. In my mind, it was just going to be like the glasses, some koozies.
Oh my God, this White Claw basket's bigger than I expected, Mr. Van.
And this was a hefty, medium-sized.
What was inside this
promo basket? Now
I feel like I'm going to be upset.
Yeah, I feel like I am too.
Because we could have got some cool shit.
It was wrapped in like a cellophane style.
So it was a fucking Easter basket.
It was a fucking Easter basket.
Was this in April?
It was no. It was this is September.
Oh, okay.
But it was obviously like a custom promo gift basket that he like maybe gives to charity or something.
Oh my God.
I don't know what it's for. I don't know.
Oh my Easily fetches like 500 plus.
I was going to give all of these to Ronald McDonald House, but it always does me good to give one of these to one of your fine listeners, Tom. Hope you're not going to give this to a young teen teacher.
We're going to use this for our foot golf tournament.
Not a teen. She is
22.
A teacher. Yeah. I mean, out of college, I believe. I don't know, but yes. I mean, barely out of the teenage years.
I know what you mean.
Anyway, but the basket shocked me because it was bigger than I expected, and it was more than I had planned on. And I did a quick scan of everything inside, and it was a lot, and I couldn't really tell.
Her, White Claw hat.
There was
White Claw condoms in there.
It may or may not White Claw booty shorts or something. I couldn't.
Thomas,
I don't know exactly.
You can't be giving people booty shorts
because
man.
If you do that, that's super inappropriate. Dude.
It's 5 minutes.
I love it. Though.
It's like 8:55. I gotta drop him off at 9, and then I'm meeting him at the Publix parking lot. I grab the basket. I put it in my WRX trunk.
So fucking shady.
Here we go back. We gotta get these booty shorts to your school staff.
I'm like, thanks, bro. Thanks for I got you. Well,
what do you got him for?
I got you, bro. Audible air fist bump.
We're plug White Claw crazy. And then we
I'm tall iron.
We take off. We do 5 minutes of the poop emoji, just like we'd always do, and then it's all the other parents and kids are pulling up to go to school.
So now you have the anxiety.
So I no, not yet. Everything's fine. I'm like, great. This is the ultimate bribe. And by bribe I mean gift, so that the teacher can be like, oh wow, thank you very much.
Did you think
money, like muffins? It's the same thing.
Money muffins. Is that what she calls
like
you?
Some people,
I love you, my little money muffin.
Some people bring Dunkin' Donuts to tea. I've heard this before.
Yeah, donuts and coffee. Teachers love that. Booty shorts, not so much.
So, I was shaking the basket around to see what was
Why
in there.
didn't you just pull out the sunglasses and away you go?
Well, because in my mind, all the stuff was better.
Yeah.
And, what's better than one White Claw sunglasses? A bunch of White Claw promo gear, right?
Again, if she doesn't know what you do for a living and that they are a sponsor, you look like a fucking creeper.
Yes.
Yeah, I know this seems like too much, but it's just some sunglasses, lingerie, booty shorts.
Right.
So
and a dildo.
I'm glad you brought that up.
And a piece of paper that says, if you like me, check yes.
Here, I thought you'd like this basket.
Yeah, you look like a fucking psychopath,
weirdo.
dude.
Okay, so...
If you don't like this basket, I'm going to kill you.
So,
that's what I heard.
Max gets out of the car, gets his book bag.
Can I pause you for 1 second?
Yeah,
the chat room is just exploding with comments, but my wife chimes in. I am so uncomfortable by all of this. Okay, great. I just want to
Me too.
Well, I will tell you that once I got the gift basket from my trunk, it hit me.
Oh, you put it in the trunk?
Well, that's why it's big.
He's got a gun!
I hope she loves me, bro.
I got the gift basket.
Will you marry me, Miss Constantine?
And then everything's still fine, by the way. I'm not thinking twice about any of this.
Because you're oblivious. No, because he's oblivious. That's where we've talked this week. I would say the theme of this week would be that the oblivion gene that you, I believe Max has it when he's watching TV.
Oh yeah,
it can be very, very beneficial, but it can also get you into trouble when you don't see warning signs. Right.
Also, it happened so fast. I didn't get to run this by anybody, and based on my whole life,
why'd you have to give it to her that day?
Because
top of mind. If he doesn't, he forgets. I know how this works.
And because I called Steven, and
you
he's
keep
like,
the basket in your passenger
no, he'll
seat.
forget about it.
Yeah. And
you know this. You're answering your own question.
He didn't forget to go pick it up, which I'm very surprised by.
Steven has like, hey, I'll be by Maitland this time, and I was like, great, it works out perfect. I'm like, bingo pongo.
Yeah. By the way, when Steven called, he's like, oh, Steven.
I totally forgot why. Yeah.
The gift basket. That's right. You're answering your own questions.
Yeah. So I take the gift bag out, and I'm holding
basket,
basket. And
gift bag would be acceptable.
And then we start walking. You have to walk down a corridor and take a left.
Dude,
you're bringing an alcohol gift bag into an elementary or into a preschool, a church preschool.
Yeah, it's a church. People, stained glass windows. Like
I hope you weren't wearing your Klan robe.
So
when you did this.
So. Immediately, all this rational thought starts flooding my mind.
Yeah.
And what was the catalyst to it was...
I'm so uncomfortable.
Another mom that was walking out, like she already dropped her kid off, walking out, glanced down at the basket that I'm holding with a... eyes of confusion and a little bit of judgment, and that's what sparked an explosion in my mind of, wait a minute, is this appropriate?
She lit the fuse. She lit the fuse.
I was like, it's alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Like I forget sometimes because I'm just like, I equate like beer to alcohol, like vodka, or but White Claw is just like, but I'm like,
it's juice.
Daddy juice.
Water to wine.
Hey, it's teacher juice. Everybody knows it's fucking teacher juice. Chat room chiming in. That school definitely sent an email later that day in response to accepting rapey gift bags.
Nope. I'll explain to you why they didn't send an email because I
think I know what happened.
I started walking and then I saw the mom glance down at the basket and then now Max is not saying
he doesn't know what the hell's going on.
He's walking in front of me he's saying hi to his friends.
Leave dancing Max out of this.
Max is a popular kid in school. And he's like Max, he's high fiving.
Yeah, he's dancing Max.
He's doing the whole
blowing kisses to the girls.
His name is Maximum Dance Moves.
And so I'm holding away and then I saw the mom glance down at judgment eyes and I'm like, I'm like,
I'll make up for it now. Drink all the White Claw. Put the booty shorts on. Put the sunglasses on. Put the booty shorts on. Funnel the White Claw. Put the basket on your head. Run in circles.
Instantly, all these thoughts are flowing. I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't run this by anybody.
Did you turn red? Because you're turning red right now.
Yeah,
Can you see him turning red?
I start turning red.
This affected you, dude.
And then I'm like, should I have not done this. I'm bringing an alcohol like a promo product.
Is there White Claw in the basket?
Into my son's VPK. Which
is there White Claw in the basket, or is it?
No, there's no.
But everybody knows what White Claw is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's popular enough
Massive
now.
brand.
And
Massive
so
brand.
I own this basket, and then also flooded through my head was is this a weird thing to get the college age VPK teacher a gift bag with baby
BT
booty shorts?
Preschool teacher. She might not be 21, dude.
That never crossed my mind. Probably should have.
You know, my mom is an educator, has been for 40 years, just retired, 6 years ago or something. My mom's intern, and I remember her as a librarian, was 19.
Right.
Yeah.
She was.
I didn't think about the age
I'd give her all the
Probably
baskets.
should have been my
Doogie
first
Howser
thought.
was like 16.
Wow. What a reference.
And
You know what? Pizza party.
Yeah.
You get one, too. Pizza party for Caesar.
So I'm walking down the corridor, and all this has happened instantaneously, by the way. Like, I'm thinking of my wife yelling at me. I'm thinking about you guys saying, what the fuck are you doing?
But you're in too deep. Rich is in our chat room. He says, yeah, my daughter's high school friend is a preschool teacher.
And she's 17.
There you go. Boom.
Yeah. Well, in my mind, I'm like, you have to be sort of like you're a teacher.
Aren't
I don't
you
know.
old? In too deep, man.
So I'm walking down the corridor, and then
Why not just take it back, put it in the trunk, and call it a day?
Yeah.
Well, I panicked. So
never say die. The vans. You're like, fuck it. I'm doing
You're
it.
in now.
I
Marching
got,
forth.
I got fucking tears in my eyes. Oh my god.
It's also like 1 minute before the bell rings, and then I got to the corridor.
Which bell? The bell of good judgment?
And by the way, there's other moms taking their kids behind me, and like so I'm stuck where I don't want to be like, wait,
You're
right.
in queue now, man.
And so I'm holding the basket, and then I'm panicking because all these flooded thoughts are entering my brain. Where why did you do this? Why are you getting your son's VPK teacher a big basket of White Claw branded stuff where
Booty
you
shorts,
don't have no idea what's in here?
Why did you include the womanizer?
Also,
There's an auto blow in there too, but that's for me.
Also, is there going to be an awkward moment where I hand this girl a basket?
How would this not be awkward?
And then she's going to be like,
Miss Constantine, I want you to have this basket of booty shorts and White Claw paraphernalia.
Why did you give me this? Where is she going to put said basket? Or is the administrator going to see the basket?
Right.
They'll be like, who gave you this?
I would like to invite you to my pool party.
And then they're going to contact my wife, and then I'm going to be put on some sort of list. I'll never be able to drop my son off again. Like all this flood in my mind, and then I'm going to be yelled at and scrutinized. And then so I immediately, instead of taking a left to drop Max off, I'm like, Max, follow me. And we took a right, and we went to the bathroom.
Put these booty shorts on. You're going to wear those under your regular shorts all day. We got to flush these sunglasses down the toilet. Help me break this basket down and stuff it down the toilet. So we got to get out of here.
I went into the bathroom, and then I put the basket on the counter, and then I'm like, God damn it, what the fuck do I do? And then Max is like, I'm late. The bell rings for like the 9 o'clock bell. And then
you're the goddamn best storyteller and creator in the history of time.
Throw this basket away.
I said, Max, all right.
Take the basket back.
So I just abandoned the basket in the bathroom. And
you left a White Claw promo basket in the boys' restroom at a goddamn pool? I have to quit the show now.
I literally said if he throws this away, I might quit the show.
I have to quit the show now. I can't be around you. You're a bad person.
My intentions were to get
the kid is going to find it.
To go get the basket after.
I don't know how to use a womanizer.
After I drop Max. So I take Max to his school and I drop him off. He's book bag off. He puts my God, excruciating slow.
You got to speed them kids up.
He's like takes his water bottle out, puts on a thing. He's like pulling his goddamn lunch bag. I'm like, come on, the basket's in there. And then so he's pulling his thing, and then he pulls the stool out. So I'm sweating.
All I can think about is this fucking basket.
Because I think they do church service on Wednesday. Other people, they do like a
turn the air down.
Old Peepaw is gonna walk in there.
They do some sort of like sell furniture on Wednesdays. Like other like old people come. No, there's a church.
Our church does that. It's like a swap shop.
Yeah, they do a swap shop.
And they try to raise money for the homeless people. My dad used to. Remember the story about my dad going and helping the homeless people at the church? Same shit. You go down there, people drop off furniture, they sell it, turn a profit, and they help the homeless.
So,
you're a bad person.
So
He's getting hot. He's going to take his money off.
I have to turn the air down. I'm laughing too hard.
Max is putting away his thing and then pulling the stool up and then he's taking his book bag and then the top loop, he's like, ooh.
Help him out.
But I gotta go because if I don't do the high five, the ending is the high five, and then he goes into class.
It's a high five basket scenario.
So the basket is sitting on the goddamn counter of the bathroom. So I'm like, come on. And then so he puts his backpack up. That's the final thing. I'm like, high five. So then I fast sandal walk out of the thing.
Oh, please tell me it's gone.
I turn the corner, and then when I turn the corner, there's a hustle and bustle going on. there's old people walking around, and
somebody brought alcohol on campus.
Someone there was multiple people there, more, and then I see an old man walk into the bathroom. So I'm like, fuck it, and I abandoned the basket.
No!
I walked to my car, got in my car.
Oh, Lord.
And I'm like,
whoa, you got Rona.
I'm breathing, I'm sweating, and I'm like, oh, fuck it. I drove away, never been talking about it. I have no idea what happened.
Terrible person. You wasted Steven's time.
That night, I panicked that there was video cameras, that they were going to go back and check the cameras.
Yeah, and they're like, who planted this fucking alcohol basket
the
in our
janitor
bathroom?
was going to be like, who left a White Claw? Like, check the cameras and see me walking in there like it's Max's father. I knew when he drove in with the WRX.
It already been identified by the lady, the judgment lady.
Yeah, she saw it, but she's not part of the school, so who knows? I left the basket on the counter. I have no idea. And then from that day forward, never mentioned it again. Never talked about it. No one said anything about it. Have no idea what happened to it. Don't know.
You wasted Steven's time. You caused yourself anguish.
You took years off his life of worry.
You literally, you might as well have thrown an entire gift basket into the trash because he knows where the hell it went.
By the way,
and you didn't get to bribe the teacher. So
if anything,
all of this was for nothing.
I threw away my own White Claw glasses because I knew that I'd forget.
I can never wear these again. I'll have to wash my hands of everything White Claw unless I'm locked in my house.
No, because I thought that one day I'd wear them again, and then the teacher would be like,
I thought you were going to get me some glasses. Oddly enough, they found a basket. Our janitor found a basket.
Those were nice red ones. The red lenses ones, the gray ones. I think you sold those off my desk.
Oh, the gray
ones. Red lens ones?
Yeah, I sold those.
I want those.
I have those.
Anyway, so there's that.
Wow, dude.
Then Crystal started taking Max to school after the beginning of the year, and then I figured, I'll never.
Somewhere
see
in the ladies'
again.
room, there's a yellowtail wine basket. It's up on the counter. She's doing the same thing.
All
right.
That's how. Hey, listen, I had good intentions, poorly thought out. That's my whole life. Good intentions.
Maybe next time, don't try and bribe a teacher because clearly you're not good at it.
Yeah, Andrea's right. You never promised the lady the glasses, so
That's
you're free.
true.
No.
And you saw the teacher again, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And everything's fine.
Never brought it up.
But the school never said anything?
No one said anything.
No other parents said anything?
No. Who knows who found the basket or what they thought it was
I can
or who
only
they thought brought it in?
Everyone's mad at you that you just lost this fucking basket.
I can only hope. Well, they love White Claw.
Right.
I can only hope.
I'm mad.
Here's the best case scenario.
Bringing a underage girl a basket of White Claw.
Oh, come on, man.
You would abandon it too.
You should have never done it to begin with.
I did what I had to do. It was an emergency situation.
Everything's an emergency with you now.
I hope that you
for the well-being of my family.
Two things. I hope that you left the basket on the counter, and as you were walking out, in one of the stalls pooping was Chris Hansen.
I don't know. I think I honestly think she's in her
Doesn't matter what
25 or
you think.
something.
The other thing I hope is that because things are starting to open up a little bit. I'm a little more cautious. I think most people are. We don't want this thing to spike again. I think everybody's trying to be as cautious as humanly possible. But also, I understand that people got to work. But I can only hope that as things continue to get a little bit more normal, that you go to a fundraiser for the school and you walk in and there's your basket. They kept it, and it's a silent auction.
Then you got to buy it back.
You got to buy it. And you go.
We're getting a bidding war with
the teacher.
She's like, oh,
I love this basket.
did you put this in the
Oh, here's how you win. You buy it and then you give it to
No, that's even
No, then
creepier.
he's continuing it.
Because then she knows I spend money on it. This was free.
I like her walking over and she's like, I didn't know I was bidding against you. And this is your basket and you're bidding on it. Oh my God, it's so nice of you to want to donate money to our school.
Exactly.
You're such a good guy. And then you're like, oh,
I like it. Then you let her know the true secret that he actually brought this months ago.
Don't ever tell the truth. Never. You can never speak of this.
No, because I think I'm insane. But
Well, you are.
hearing this
Everybody
story
thinks
sounds I'm insane.
Everybody thinks I'm insane.
Right.
But I'm not. I'm just boring and scared of everything. You're insane. I'm not insane. I'm just boring and scared of everything. I really want. Oh my God, that's probably your greatest. You know that killed you inside, right? Like you took a 6 months, a year off your life.
You are killing yourself.
Yeah, you can't do that, man.
Legitimately.
Again,
but it was
You
good
gotta stop
intentions.
doing things
it was
that
good
stress
intentions.
you out.
It was good intentions, but he just can't.
You know what
Can't
I need?
execute.
No.
I need a life coach.
Oh.
Well, it used to be my wife, but now she judges me too much and she brings the stupid things that I think of up too much. I need to call Samantha and then be like, should I do this?
She gets enough of you.
Run things by me.
Just text her.
I would have told you straight up, do not bring this lady a gift basket. That's creepy.
Yeah, that would have been the start. I could have saved myself a lot of
Honestly,
trouble.
Sam, I mean, I think anybody would have. No
You can
offense
float
to
it by this guy. I'll give you the right answer.
I will float nothing by you.
Do not.
You're already floating.
I was going to say.
How do you float something by the guy that's already floating to the top? He's high as fuck.
Yeah. So,
Oh my
anyway.
God, dude, that's fantastic.
So,
and by fantastic, I mean terrible.
Yeah.
My God,
it's
man.
fine.
Woo.
I
You
do-
held on to that for months?
I do often.
That's terrible.
Fantasize about like the janitor going in there and finding it and be like, well, who left this?
Someone made a good point. It might be in their lost and found.
I bet it is.
Yeah, it could have been.
But now you can't go back now.
No,
that
he
it's
can't.
May.
No, he goes in. He's like, I'm
How
looking.
do you lose that?
I'm looking for. I'm
You
looking
washed
for.
your hands and you forgot to grab it.
Max had a rain jacket I'm looking for. Let me just look. Oh, there it is. How do I get it out of here?
Did it break into the school?
Smuggle it
I
out.
climbed through the window, joined the.
Call Steven. He'll go in there and get it for you.
Hey, Steven, remember that basket? It somehow ended up at my son's BPK church.
in his bathroom. Stall number 4.
Yeah.
It's on top of the toilet tank.
You're going to have to break in there at night, get it back up.
And bring some of those 70s. They're delicious. Clementine. Do you want to take a break?
Yeah,
Let's do our shot.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because we got an interview we got to work on next. So,
We got one of Tom's dream interviews from his board.
I mean, Samantha's just checking them off. All right, Butler, here you go.
All right. Cheers to having nothing but time, cashed in my turnips like I'm committing a crime, flexing on a game, damn right I am, got denied that Dota, what the fuck, Sam? Sitting on stacks, 9-2-0.
Oh, you fucked it up again.
He almost got through it.
I almost got through
Cheers.
it.
Here we go. Ooh, is this Sugar Works?
Yes, it is.
All right. We
Caralisa.
speaking of that, we're doing some work with Sugar Works, and that'll be announced soon. Sorry, I swallowed it too fast. And
Now, are you going to take all of our Sugar Works promo stuff to your school and give it to all the young teachers?
No. If they want it, I'll get together.
You guys like good fresh Florida whiskey? Oh no!
Sugar Works Distillery in New Smyrna.
Yes, sir. NSB.
We're doing some things with them, so we'll announce that soon.
Up next is, I don't know how to describe this band. I don't know how. They're called Days and Days. And they are punk rock folk. They're from Houston. They describe themselves as, I believe it's called H-Town Thrash Grass.
Okay.
Like bluegrass.
Yeah.
I think you're going to dig it. My wife loves bluegrass. Hopefully she's still listening. I think you're going to like
she's
this.
in there.
The name of this song is Flurry Rush. We'll be right back with more on Mediocre Time right after this. 1-844-TOMNDAN. Show at TomandDan.com to get in a last-minute email. Here we go.
If you're looking to buy or sell your current house, Bart Merrick, Crystal Van.
Oh, I thought you forgot his name for a second.
No,
You're like,
no.
Bart, I got nothing.
I was going to BartTheRealtor.com.
There you go.
And you can contact either of them. They
Do
both
you
will
refer
help
to
you.
your wife as CrystalTheRealtor.com?
Yes, I do.
I think you should.
I
like that.
I do. I put your business,
But
plans
only
on,
in
baby.
bed. I'm sorry. Oh, my God. Bart's on the line. I'm embarrassing myself.
Sorry. Yeah.
Hey, Bart.
How you doing?
Good, hi, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Just
good.
embarrassing myself, you know.
So, Bart, I know that it's strange times and people don't know what's going on and they don't know what to do. And I know people are out there that want to sell their house or want to move to a new house, and they're unsure of what's going to happen or what they think, that it's kind of on hold. What's your take on it, Bart?
This whole thing's been a real learning process as we go along, and I got to admit, I get the feeling that there's just a lot of people out there that, like you just said, don't know what's going on. They're kind of putting things on hold right now. I saw the National Association of Realtors put out some statistics about how basically half of the market has said we're just going to kind of wait a couple months to buy or sell going into the next, into this year. So there's probably a lot of people pent up, ready to sell, to buy, to move out there. But understandably, we got clients out there who just want to put it on pause and wait. We have a client down in St. Cloud who we got under contract to sell their house this last week, and we only had it on the market for about a week.
Wow.
What I remember before we got a contract on it, and that was in lieu of everything that's going on. And we took special precautions to make sure everybody going in and out of the house was safe and everything was clean. And,
Sure.
But the market's functioning normally, and prices are stable. People are buying, people are selling. It's just not as many buyers or sellers out there in the market right now.
Well, Samantha, she just bought a home. She scooped up. Her house is awesome. That's a dope house, man.
We really closed on Monday. That's been a very smooth transaction from beginning to end. Everything closed on time. In fact, all the transactions we're working on right now are all scheduled to close as the contract came in. So
beautiful.
So people can buy and sell their house right now like normal, and everything will be normal, except for like when you close. You may have to close in a different location.
Well, again,
but that's probably going to change soon too.
Yeah, and that falls under special. We have to make special precautions for people, and we are taking this seriously and being safe.
But it's the same as it's always been, and the market's holding steady, and everything is as it was, just less people.
What's funny, and Bart, you might agree with this, it's funny that Samantha, even though her transaction with her home is going super smooth, again, to go back to your first statement about people don't know what's happening, she always kind of comes in here like, yeah, it's working, I guess. And we're like, no, it's working. It just feels weird because everything is weird. But yeah, they're out there, people buying and selling. It's just, yes, of course it feels weird.
Yeah, and if they want to talk to you personally, Bart, about whether they should put their house up now or wait or get your advice.
You could be working on a plan right now.
Yeah, they could just call you if they go to your website. Your cell phone number's right there. Crystal's cell phone number's on there.
BartTheRealtor.com.
And reach out to both of us, any questions you have. Now's a great time because we have plenty of time to answer any questions you got.
Well, exactly. That's what I would do. Look, if you're like Andrea, not me, I'll take myself out of this equation. If you're like my wife and you like to plan and you got time right now would be the time to gather with Bart and Crystal an accurate plan to either buy or sell a house. Yeah. Because there are things that you can get going now that will save you some time when all of this kind of gets a little bit better.
And there's houses on the market now, so you may be able to take advantage of the fact that the buyers aren't scooping them up quickly, and you go out and look for a house, sell your house quickly. It could be an opportunity because things were crazy busy 6 months ago, so maybe you could take advantage of the fact that everything slowed down and get that house of your dreams
100%.
And sell your current house.
When something comes on, it is a little easier right now for buyers to be able to get out there faster to be able to see something. Because what I have found is that right now, most sellers that are selling are don't want to say have to sell, but they're in a position where they probably need to sell for some reason. Maybe they're relocating. Maybe, maybe something, life event happened.
Sure.
So buyers, I think, have a little advantage going into the circumstance we're in now. How long that's going to hold, I don't know.
Awesome. Well, Bart, we'll talk to you soon. We appreciate you taking the call and giving out the information. And stay safe out there.
No, God, don't tell him that. He's not going anywhere. He just told us he's bored.
I know.
All right. Well, hey, give everybody some love from us, man, and we'll check in with you soon.
I appreciate it, guys. I'll talk to you later.
All right, man. See you, Bart. That is Bart Merrick, one half of the Bart Merrick team.
Yeah.
The other half, Crystal Van, you're married to, and you make her really stomp them good in the bedroom. Just real tour stomp those things.
Put your business
heels on.
Stomp them.
Kick me like I missed a payment.
BartTheRealtor.com.
Scumbags, what's going on? It is Sam and Trav with your BDM clip of the week, Sam.
And Trav.
So at the beginning of this clip, they're kind of coming off a conversation about Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, my favorite.
And then they start talking about how the people, quote unquote, my fans, I don't know what that means, but it should be called the Frog Pound.
I like this.
And then they start talking about frogging. And craziness ensues. Let's check it out.
Do you know he calls his fans the Dog Pound?
Yeah. He's a corny old piece of shit. All right?
Is it any different than Beyonce calling her fans the Beehive? It's the same exact
I think
thing.
Samantha should call her fans the Frog Pound. That'd be awesome. Because she likes to frog.
Oh, God.
Didn't you try that one time?
Yeah, he made me try.
I want
Don't tell him. I want
You said it on
we
the
did it on the
air.
show, and she
Yeah.
talked
But
about
when I
frogging.
say it, they don't think it's real.
Hey, will you frog
old
me
news.
tonight?
You have to. Is it going to hurt my legs?
I don't know.
Yes, it is going to hurt.
Depends
your
on
legs.
how froggy you get with it.
How are your knees? Because the knees are a big part of
Put
this
the
whole
knee braces on.
Yeah.
Or get those things that I've seen on TV that construction workers wear that kind of give them bionic legs.
Get your big boomer-sized knee braces.
Yeah, wear the 2 Stone Cold Steve Austins. And then you're up there and you're like, Frog 316, brother.
Is that what you do? Is that what you have
you're
to
frog.
do?
No,
You're
you have to get like
stand on
this.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Yeah,
Shorty shorts.
oh, my God, you have skinny legs.
And then you're frog.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's I didn't think people really did that. Only in pornos.
It's
and
not
Samantha
like that
told
at all.
me.
It's not like that at all.
Well, you got to get lower because
and your heels are digging into the mattress.
If I do it right now, I'll fart. So I can't.
Good, that's good. Frogging's a young woman's game, right?
How your knees holding up, Sam?
In the new house, you might have to install handlebars.
Okay, I like that. Where? On my forehead?
Yes. To hear the rest of this episode, you need to sign up to become a BDM.
At TomandDan.com.
Welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Let's go ahead and jump into it. I know you've been itching to talk to this particular person for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Samantha, our producer, set it up, and let's just jump into it.
Well, before kids, I would like to say 6-7 years ago, me and my wife always wanted to live on a sailboat and retire on a sailboat, and just
I tried to talk you out of it.
We love that lifestyle, and a buddy of mine told me about a YouTube channel about these guys that basically sold it all and got a sailboat and started living on it,
and they're
then
doing it. Yeah,
and then they basically and we're going to talk to them all about it. But they turned their life and experience into a YouTube channel and social media and everything.
Smart.
And they monetize it, and they have some of the same aspects of they have members that contribute monthly.
It's awesome.
Yeah, they have a Patreon.
If you don't follow them, let's plug them real fast.
Yeah, you can search Sailing SV Delos on their YouTube channel's up there.
Their website is svdelos.com. That's DELOS.
There you go.
And they're on Instagram and every social media, and you can follow them through that way as well. But on the line with us right now,
live via Skype.
Yeah, live via Skype from the Bahamas, I believe, if I'm correct, Ragged Island, Bahamas. Is that correct, Brian?
Yeah, we're actually at a tiny little island called Racoon Cay, spelled C-A-Y.
What?
In fact, if you just go to like Google and you type in where is SV Delos, a map will come up with our current position because we have like satellite tracking and all that stuff. So
that is awesome.
But yeah, we're in the middle of nowhere.
At Racoon Cay, and oddly enough, your house is infested by raccoons. And you're their biggest fan, and the raccoon connection is strong with you guys.
It is. So, Brian, I want to ask you, first, for our listeners that are not familiar with your story, because it really is inspirational and fascinating.
It's brave.
How you guys started. So can you tell us a little bit about, how Delos started and how your adventure started 12 years ago?
Yeah, sure. So I was a software guy, and I was living the corporate life, climbing the corporate ladder, doing everything that I thought I was supposed to be doing. And I felt very disenchanted with, trying to make more money and buy more things and more TVs and a newer car. And one day I just sort of freaked out, and I said, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I sold everything I owned, car, house, weight bench out of the garage, fish tank, chucked it all away, bought a sailboat with the intention of leaving for 18 months. That's how much money I had. Mm-hmm. Ended up meeting up with my brother in Mexico, who then sailed with me across the South Pacific, down to New Zealand, Australia. We were going through islands and just having a good time. And then I met a girl, fell in love, and start a YouTube channel about our travels and our adventure and the people and places we'd been to and met along the way. And, the first few years was super tough. It took a long time to get momentum. And we cashed in all of our savings. We would stop to work at different islands and do random day jobs and just live like cheap boat bums, basically. And then after a number of years, we started getting enough views to where it became self-sustainable. And that's what keeps us going now, is the amazing people that watch the videos and that fund it.
And that's, Brian, that's kind of what I'm fascinated about, because your story is kind of at least parallel to ours. We worked in terrestrial radio. We started a podcast 11 years ago, and we realized there's a way to not work with giant corporations. You could do this on your own. You can create your own entertainment. You can sell advertising.
We also got tired of chasing. I think this is the main point that kind of the parallel is I got tired of chasing other people's dreams.
Yeah.
It got to a point where I'm like, I know that I'm successful at what I'm doing, but I think I'm making this other person extremely successful, and I'm just back here, working really hard.
And with your YouTube channel, you have a Patreon, and you also have members that pay to support you. I know there's different things like people can buy you a beer for a certain amount of money, and you use that money to upgrade the sailboat. And I know one of your viewers bought you a set of batteries for your solar panels that
you showed me that one. I remember that.
I don't know how expensive, but you receive gifts and stuff from the people that watch you, correct?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's absolutely true. And, right now it's so amazing, because I think one of the important things to keep in mind is it's technology that has enabled both us and you guys to do this, right?
Yeah.
A few years ago, to bypass the corporate media would have been nearly impossible, because they were the gatekeepers to the audience.
Yep.
But now we have super powerful computers, we have fast internet, we have good cameras, good microphones, digital audio mixing software, and you can go directly to the audience if you have something that you feel is interesting to say. And in fact, right now, I'm only able to talk to you because I met a guy in the UK at a boat show who would watch the videos. We sat down, we had a couple of beers, we got a little bit drunk, and it turns out that this guy is a product development manager at Viasat. And Viasat is the one that puts all the internet on the airplanes. He's like, hey, Brian, why don't we try and run a deal where we put this gigantic satellite internet dome on your sailboat, and we'll call it a proof of concept, a test. And I was like, that sounds fantastic. And so now we're beaming this conversation through space, and it's crazy.
I know.
That is insane.
You're literally sitting on a sailboat in Racoon Cay in the Bahamas. I mean, how far is the closest human to you? Probably pretty far, right?
There's one more boat here. They're next door. I mean, the nearest actual town would be like Georgetown. It'd take us about a day to get there. It's about a day's sail away.
That's it's amazing. So, okay, Brian, I got a ton of questions because I've been following your guys' adventure for so long.
Let me throw an easy one out there because you talked about teaming up with your brother and sailing. Had you had any prior sailing experience? Was sailing something that you did as a family or grew up doing, or was this like a new venture for you?
No. I was just wandering through the library one day, like playing hooky from work, and I found this book that said, hey, you can sail a small boat across the ocean. And I said, oh, that sounds pretty cool. Like, it's a good way to travel. You get to take your house with you wherever you go. You're not staying at hotel rooms. You have your creature comforts, and you can travel slow. You can spend months in places. And the idea of crossing an ocean and being self-sufficient and traveling, like all those, and it's very environmentally friendly, and all those things just sort of connected for me.
Yeah. I think it's pretty remarkable and amazing.
And how long before...
I got to figure out how to do this.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, how long before you felt comfortable? Because, I mean, Delos is a big boat, and there's a lot to sailing. Yeah. How long did it take you to feel comfortable enough to even make transatlantic or, go across oceans? I mean, what are we talking months-wise?
Well, I would probably say, at some point we're still not comfortable because, you're always learning something. Like this morning, we woke up and there's a big northerly blowing a few hundred miles north of us, which you wouldn't think is a problem, but it generated a huge swell. So we woke up and all of a sudden the nice calm anchorage that we were in last night is now this little hellhole of breaking waves. And you're like, man, we got to pick up the anchor and we have to move our house now.
Yeah.
And so, you still have these weird little things that keep you on your toes. So you really can't be complacent. But I think it took really years before I was sort of comfortable. But every time we sail, I still get butterflies in my stomach. You still get that angst feeling, and before you set off on a trip. And I think that's what makes it worth it, though. If it was so commonplace that you didn't feel that, it would kind of be boring, I guess.
Yeah, you still get the energy. I think I can definitely see the even more parallels between what we do because, we just said yesterday, in fact, the magnet's pulling hard today because even yesterday morning you were like, you know what, I still get excited to come in here and do the show because I know that we control it, and you know what I'm saying? Being in total control is pretty awesome, but also being in control of your entire family on the boat, that's kind of that would scare me a little bit. I'm a bit of an anxiety guy.
Well, yeah, and I'll get to that and how you're way more of a real man than everybody I know having a baby on board. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
But I want to ask you about, because your production value and your editing is really
top notch, man,
with the episodes on YouTube. And do you do all the editing yourself, or do you now have a team of editors? I always wonder how that worked.
Well, it's always been, most of the editing has always been done on the boat. So by people that sailed with us or us. And basically when we started, we literally went to YouTube and we said, how do you edit a YouTube video? We bought a super cheap camcorder. We pirated some mixed some editing software because we couldn't afford to pay for it at that time. And we just went to town learning and improved over the years. It is a ton of work. We probably put, at least 40 to 60 hours into editing an episode. And when you're doing that on a weekly basis, if you figure, that's not including work on the boat or sailing or filming, that's just editing and production time, it gets out of control. And now that we've met some cool people that have sailed with us and that we trust, we ask them when they leave the boat as crew, if they would like to help us continue editing. So right now, our friend Kirill, who sailed with us in South Africa, he has been living in Vietnam, and now he's living in Bali in Indonesia for the last year. And we just send him footage. We upload footage over the satellite to Amazon Web Services or Dropbox. He downloads it there. He does a little edits, mixes it with music, sends the project file back to us here on the boat. So that certainly helps, because otherwise all we would do is sit in the boat and edit it. It would be crazy.
Yeah.
It's insane to me also the amount of coverage that your files are covering. You know, you're like, hey, we're here, we're uploading to, like, let's say Vietnam, or you know what I mean? Like, it's just like everything's just going in all different directions, and it is a massive attest to the way that technology is kind of...
Yeah, I mean, you're producing a good quality show.
Good doesn't even cover it. It's as good as anything on TV.
Yeah, with drone footage. And how many drones have you put in the ocean, Brian? I imagine a bunch.
At least... I'd say at least 5 that I can remember.
All right.
But probably more that I've lost.
Because your drone footage is really good, and I'm like,
it's awesome.
A couple of these had to have fallen in the ocean for sure.
And your drone, I'll put it to you, for viewers that haven't seen their videos, their drone footage is so good, it will make people that don't want to sail want to sail.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, it gets you get jazzed. You get, like, you see it, and you're like, oh, well, I got to be a pirate now.
So, Brian, for a guy like me, I've always wanted to ask you this, because I watch your videos, and I watch, you on YouTube, and I live vicariously through you, and I think a lot of your viewers probably do, because they look at your life and like, man, this is...
It's like the real pirate's life, man.
Yeah, this is a dream life. There's so many good... I mean, you're in unbelievable Caribbean beaches, having a beer and sunset, completely alone, like eating like fish off the... scuba diving, like, it looks so great, and like everybody, I'm sure all your viewers are like, this is the life I want to live, including me. But could you tell us any of the bad things? I don't want to.
That's a great question,
because I think a lot because a lot of
looks extremely difficult.
Everybody who watches you probably sees all the good because of your storytelling and your episodes. But there's going
to be some cons to this.
Yeah, there's some cons, and I wanted to talk to you about that because it's something that you don't touch on that much.
Yeah,
what's
on your videos. What's number one con?
Yeah.
I'd say number one con is like the removal from friends and family. Yeah. And so when you travel that much, you begin to crave normalcy in your life. I think change and travel and new places is exciting, but one day you wake up and you're like, you know what, man, I miss my family. I miss talking to my mom. I miss my dad. Like, we make tons of friends out here, but then 3 weeks they go their own separate ways. Right. And so it's like, continually, like, I remember the last, few months in high school where, like, all your friends were getting together and everybody's partying and having a good time, and then everybody goes off to college, and you miss them. It's like that on a weekly basis for us. And so you get pretty lonely sometimes.
I can see that.
That's an extremely honest answer. Yeah. I could see that. I'm probably the most sensitive cat on the show. I think that would kill me. Yeah, maybe that's. Yeah. Do you think that you have to be a certain type of person to do what you're doing right now?
I think you got to be like pretty self-sufficient, and you have to have a thick skin. And you have to be not like, if you want to cuddle up on the couch and chill for a while and not worry about your house like dragging into an island and smashing and then sinking, this is probably not the best life.
Right.
So,
and that, like, that might be an extreme example, but just a couple weeks ago we woke up, the wind changed direction, and now the waves are blowing us like onto the ocean bottom, and now our house is like bouncing on the bottom, and now I have to wake up at 1 a.m. and like I'm drinking a little bit of whiskey, and I'm like slightly buzzed, and I'm like, oh great, now I've got to try and like get the house off the anchor and sail into deeper water before we get something hurt, and like, you always got to stay on your toes a little bit. You never have any really truly off time.
It's kind of like cowboy life. Like you sleep.
You're on edge.
Yeah, you sleep with your hat over your eyes, but you've always got your hand on your revolver, like at all times.
Yeah.
So
like noises wake you up. The wind changes and noise wakes you up. Like, well, I can't just ignore that. Like, I got to go check that out. It could be something important.
In the email you sent me, you said you guys have been on lockdown on a deserted island for 85 days, and you've started to make your own moonshine because you ran out of booze.
Yeah, that's true. So, the Bahamas are in lockdown, which means that we're not allowed to go anywhere. We're not supposed to go anywhere. None of the islands are allowing inter-island travel, and so we left Puerto Rico, San Juan, in February. And we were going to just stay down here a few weeks, and then we were going to take a leisurely sail up through the Bahama Islands and then end up in like Annapolis in Maryland or something now. And when we got here, then this whole coronavirus COVID situation happened, and we were like, holy, can I cuss? Or not?
Oh, yeah, please.
Holy shit, what the heck is going on with the world? Like, they just stopped flights from Europe to the U.S., and I was like, Karen, this is serious. Like, what should we do? And ultimately, after hearing the reports and like talking to people, we just decided to stay here. And so we started conserving our fuel. We have a water maker on board, so we can make our own fresh water. We have a lot of solar panels and wind power, so we can make our own electricity. And of course, like, one of the things the Bahamian government did, and I'm not sure why they did this, but when they locked down the islands, they also closed down alcohol sales. And so you couldn't, like, we can't even go into the store anyway, but now all the islands have been dry for like weeks. And so we have, for a long time, we started moonshining back when we were in Australia, because alcohol was like $70 a bottle there, and it was crazy expensive. So we decided to buy our own still and just start making it. So that's what we've been doing now. And we're sharing the alcohol we make with all the other boats around. We just make it out of, we basically make like a vodka-like moonshine alcohol. It's pretty strong. It's 96%. I think every clear.
That'll kill her.
You honestly, like, without the scary sailboat part, you have the life I want. Like, I want there's so much adventure and just ingenuity and creativity and
Brian, from following you on Instagram and stuff and following the show, I know it's hard to get fresh food too, right? Like, you can only get it how often?
Well, we just convinced the government mail boat to bring us supplies from Nassau. And this just recently started, so we just got our first delivery last weekend after, 80 days of not having anything, and it was spectacular. Like, that tomato, like, if you've ever gone without a tomato for like almost 3 months, and then you have a tomato, you're like, oh my God, this tomato is fantastic.
It's funny too that the things that you now cherish or the stuff that we as mainlanders take for granted, you never think that just something, like, because we're the type of people here where we're eating a tomato and we're like, this tomato isn't as good as my last one. It's like, well, we could take them all away.
But the other nice thing is there's like, the fishing is really good here. So there's a lot of lobster, there's a lot of conch, there's a lot of grouper, snapper. So, but honestly, man, like, we ate lobster for 30 days straight, and like, if I never see another lobster again, like, it'll be too soon. Like,
that's right. You're like, give me a tomato.
So much
my God, vegetables.
Like curry lobster, coconut lobster mac and cheese. You can only cook it so many different ways, and then you're like, well, I just want a steak, a sausage.
So, Brian, that leads me to, like, not only are you essentially trying to stay alive and live on the sailboat, and there's all that to deal with, but then you're producing a show, and I always wonder that, do you have to sit down and think of, like, hey, all right, our next episode is going to be about this? Like, you're a content provider, and you have a huge following, and that's what pays the bills.
Yeah, he's got money coming in, so now he's got to, like, not script, but he has to
come up with content,
you have to plan.
Right? So how does that work? Like, do you come up with concepts of what your next episode is going to be about, and like, do you constantly think about what content you're going to provide?
Yeah, I mean, it is our livelihood, and it is our life, and it is our business and our hobby at the same time, and so that always gets a bit tricky. But I mean, we film generally just what we do. Most of the things we do are pretty cool. Like, we went scuba diving the other day, and so we decided, well, let's film our mission to go scuba diving, because we know that there's going to be sharks there, and so if we go down with the big cameras, we're probably going to see sharks. And we did. We saw like 3 sharks, and so that's just cool. I really enjoy that. But I mean, I think the thing that's important to us is we have to film and do stuff that we really like. And if we're not passionate about it and not enjoying it, then I think it's going to be pretty lame.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be like authentic. And so we, people request us to film stuff, and honestly, we don't do a lot of that because those types of videos don't make me that excited. But, going and diving with sharks does, or going and spearfishing lobster, I think that's cool, so we film that. We have a baby on board now, and that's a lot of fun.
There we go.
9 months old.
Is it a lot of fun? Yeah, is it a lot of fun? Because we're both newer dads. We're not new. I mean, I got a 4-year-old daughter.
He's 5 and 6-year-old.
Yeah, and he's got boys. And I got to tell you, it is extremely difficult to parent as a normal, I'm on the land type parent. I can only imagine what a sailboat, I got to move the house in the middle of the night on some whiskey parenting is like.
And this is where I wanted to ask you, Brian, is you have a 9-month-old baby. Congratulations, baby daughter.
My God. We got a daughter? Oh, you poor man.
With your wife, Karen.
Just like me. Oh, you poor soul.
By the way, she's probably already tougher than I am.
Oh, yeah. She's a master sail.
She's scuba diving.
Yeah, master captain.
Which... It's been my dream. Now this didn't work out for me too, but I wanted to always raise my boys in a sailboat and then have them jump in the crystal clear Caribbean water and swim and get a lobster at the age of 5. And they are
you want
they're scared
children?
of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So it'll never happen. My dream is dead, Brian. But I live through you. But how hard is it having a 9-month-old on a sailboat in the middle of nowhere? Because
during a pandemic.
Yeah, some parents, I know, they're like, where's my baby water? We ran out of baby water. They literally buy water for babies, and they freak out if they don't have any. So I'm sure that you have a different take on the raising a baby on a sailboat. How's it been?
Oh, man, this is my first time parenting, and, I thought, that I didn't have a lot of time before, but now you can imagine we call her Sierra the destroyer of all things, especially time, because she takes all your time, all the time. And, either Karen or I have to, be with her, and it's a sailboat. It's not like we can just put her in a safe room. And so, we had to build a little, we call it a cage. I don't think you're supposed to say you put your child in a cage. But
you know what? It's fine.
You're fine.
It's like a playpen.
Yeah, it's fine.
To keep her safe. We had to put a fence around the boat like you do for a pool, except the pool is our house is in the middle of the pool now. So, we had to put a child safety netting all around the lifelines and the rails. I guess the good thing is that we get to spend 24 hours a day, 7 days a week together as a family. And so there's no me rushing off or Karen rushing off and having to take her to daycare or a babysitter. It's just us on the boat all the time. And so we have all these special moments as a family, all these, shared sunsets and shared meals. And it's, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I love it. We're having a blast out here.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, that's the kind of thing, that's the kind of, in my opinion, now I might be fully wrong, but I'm just going to make my bet right now that this is the type of spark that you give a baby. And then they become something grandiose and amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was raised, with my mom and dad lovingly on a sailboat, and we had adventure.
Oh, yeah.
So now that spark, that fire is inside of me, and now I will become an amazing human being. I honestly believe that.
Yeah. And she'll be able to swim before she can even walk, probably, right?
Oh, I take her in the ocean every day.
Yeah.
It's good for you.
When it's too hot, be in the boat, we go swimming. That's the only way we can cool off is to go underwater.
And by the way, I hope all the parents are listening to this that literally treat their babies like delicate flowers. They're like, oh no, watch out, don't touch your petals. Babies were literally born to be hardy. They are hardy people.
Especially sailboat babies.
Yeah. And so, listen, there's lots of babies throughout history that grew up hard, and not even hard, but just in harsher environments, in an AC, oh, watch out, oh, she cried. And Brian will tell you, how...
Yeah, you're not making Genghis Khan over there.
Your daughter's adapted to this way of life, no problem, right?
Oh, I think she loves it. She gets to meet all kinds of crazy people. There's other boaters that we meet on the beach. She's I was walking with her the other day, and within a 5-minute period, we saw a baby shark, we saw a stingray, and we saw a turtle. And I'm thinking, like, what a fantastic way to be able to teach biology to your child is to be like, well, not this is a stingray in a book, but this is an actual stingray. And if you want, we can go in the dinghy and we can go watch it eat. And, this little shark right here is not something to be afraid of. Like, this is a nurse shark. This is a lemon shark. Like, these sharks are our friends. They're not going to hurt you. And then she goes to the beach and she picks up a big handful of sand and shoves it in her mouth along with some other rocks and things, and I got to pick that out of there. But yeah, she's very robust and she's learning quickly, and
that's just phenomenal, man.
Tries to drink the seawater. I got to stop from doing that.
Yeah. Well, she'll grow out of that. I feel like, but that's absolutely phenomenal, man.
And Brian, last question. I know that sometimes you guys do promotions, and I saw this actually with your when you guys were having the baby, obviously on the mainland and everything, and when you transition your brother Brady. Actually, I was watching the episode where he sailed to go pick you up, and then he is off the boat for a while, because I know you guys were on the boat together for a long time, and now it's you and your wife and your daughter. Is there anybody else with you?
No. I mean, there was supposed to be. We were supposed to have our friend Lisa from Austria fly in. She was supposed to get here about a month ago, but because all the flights from Europe were shut down, she couldn't join us. So it's just the 2.5 of us for now. So
what I wanted to ask you about is that I've seen you run promotions and stuff too sometimes, where you'll bring a listener on, or I say listener, but a viewer, one of your fans on the boat for a small time so they can experience. And I know sometimes it's either a promotion where they won that chance, but has anybody ever offered you a bunch of money to live on the boat for a week and experience?
Let me buy the experience. Yeah.
Oh yeah. We had a couple times people have offered we're like, hey, let me sail for you for a week. I'll give you $10,000. And I was like, I don't know, man. We don't really we don't really need to do that. I just want to meet cool people and meet random people. Interesting people that can add another dimension, maybe teach me something. And if we meet somebody that's we feel is a good fit, and of course. Or sometimes we run promotions and contests online and stuff, but we pay for it. They just have to pay for their flight. So people just fly to the boat. To leave the boat, we cover everything on board, and we just sail as friends. I don't because otherwise it's like a charter. I don't want people to pay money and to be like, well, where's my breakfast? Or where's my lunch? And
Well, let me sell you on myself. I'm Tom Van. I've been a fan for a long time.
Oh my
I would like to pay for the opportunity.
He's got a White Claw gift basket he can give you.
This man's in quarantine on Racoon Cay, and you're going to hit him up with a hard pitch?
I want to experience the Delos lifestyle. It's been my dream.
No, you're not. You're too
soft. I've got tons of stories.
You're too soft. You know what? Go outside, put a shovel, some sand in your mouth just like a baby.
Now, my sons and wife are very needy. They're going to be bad house guests or sailboat guests, but I can help you crank the sails. Do you want
to hear nonstop complaining from two little boys about how hot it is?
I can scuba dive.
He doesn't
Sorry,
want to do
Brian. I'm just joking.
Yeah, I think you missed during all of that, and because we're on a limited, internet. I think you missed him saying no.
But I truly enjoy watching you, Brian. And
this is one of the best interviews. The fact that we get to actually, and after following you, and I followed you kind of vicariously through Tom.
I got a last question. Sorry about that. I just thought of this.
No, you already said last question. This is beyond last question.
But I wanted to talk to you about this because when we talk to adventurers like yourself and people that travel the world, and they've all told us one thing that is pretty standard with all of them, and they said in all their travels, that people, they found that people are good.
Lovely.
And
People are lovely.
And want to help. And in fact, the people that have the least usually
give the most.
Yep. And they've been always surprised about people's generosity and how nice people are around the world. And if you found that to be the case, first question. And second, I want to ask about if there's any, you ever gotten close to sinking Delos. God,
ultimate highs and ultimate lows.
I know, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, definitely I'd say that 99.9% of the people we meet are just genuine good people. They're into the same things, regardless of, like, you know, their religion or the color of their skin or the language they speak. They just want to enjoy life. They want to spend time with their families. They want to have shelter. They want to eat food. Like, those are the basic things that humans are after. And if you can connect with somebody on that level, then you have a lot to share. The only bad experiences we've had have been with people who feel entitled, who feel like they want to somehow profit or make something off of you somehow. People often ask about pirates. If we've met pirates, they say, well, the only pirates we meet are the ones in suits, you know, sitting in the line. So it's like
get them.
A different
Evil
thing. And second question, yes. We've almost sunk Delos probably 2 occasions. Do you want me to tell the story? Or,
Yeah.
I mean, unless it triggers you in some way that, like, is bad. I mean,
no. Like, okay, so we were in the Solomon Islands. The Solomon Islands are in Melanesia, so it's sort of east of Indonesia, west of Fiji, northeast of Australia, that sort of area. And we were doing wreck diving. We were World War II wreck diving for a few months. And we anchored in this spot, flat, calm day, deep water, anchored in about 150 feet next to this old Japanese cargo ship. We went down scuba diving. We were diving in teams. And while my brother Brady and his girlfriend were diving, it went from flat, calm conditions to like maybe 40, 45 knots of wind.
Whoa.
It broke our anchor loose, and all hell broke loose on the boat. You know, dive gear is flying around, cushions were flying around. By the time I was able to get the engine started and pull the anchor up, the wind and waves had already blown us onto the reef. And so, you know, when a boat hits the reef, it's like the worst possible scenario, because that's how you sink your boat. That's how you leave your house. So, you know, I'm sitting there, and first the rudder hits the reef, we get driven back, and then the boat turns sideways, and the waves are hitting you on the beam or the side of the boat. You're not able to move forward. It's pushing you across basically coral, rocks, sand, with the major danger of, you know, getting a hole in the boat, and every wave that goes through is picking you up and then slamming you down. You can just hear your boat and your house and everything, like, you know, crunching and grinding on the rocks. And, you know, it's at that point where you just have one of those moments. You're like, this is how it ends. Like, this is how I lose everything that I've worked for, and I'm going to be shipwrecked on this stupid island in the middle of nowhere. And that's it. And luckily, one of the guys that was on my boat, he manned up, and he put a snorkel mask on and a set of fins, and he jumped over the boat. I put the bow thruster down, and every time a wave passed under us, I used that in the engine to basically try and straighten the boat out and just give it full throttle. And he guided me from inside the water on how to navigate off this reef, and we were just bashing against rocks. And I mean, it took huge chunks out of the boat. And it was a really scary, trying time. But after about 30, 35 minutes, we got into deep water, and I just took off. I left my buddy floating there. I left Brady and his girlfriend. They were still underwater. You know, they were still scuba diving. They had no idea. I just headed offshore. I left them all there.
Oh,
they
my
swam
God.
to the island. I had to come back later that afternoon. It was crazy. I don't want to do that again. It's one of the things you learn. Like, you shouldn't anchor in a place like that just to go scuba diving. You should anchor somewhere safer and then take the dinghy around, even if it takes you a little bit longer.
Do you have if something like that happened in a total emergency, like your boat did sink and you needed help, do you got like a satellite phone, an emergency beacon or something to like come get saved? And how long will that take, like, especially in some of these remote islands?
Yeah, well, we have an EPIRB. That's the go-to standard. It stands for emergency position indicating radio beacon, and it basically is registered to the boats, and with the I think it's NOAA that it's registered with, and it sends a signal with our boat name and our registration details and our GPS position to a satellite, and then a control center gets it, and then they will either route the Coast Guard to you or a cargo ship, or they'll at least know that you're in distress. But there's actually not that many Coast Guards in the world. Like, not everybody has a Coast Guard. Most of the world doesn't have a Coast Guard, and so you're really dependent on other people on boats or cargo ships, container ships, oil tankers, that sort of thing. But I mean, it could be hours to weeks.
Well, based on
hours to weeks.
Well, based on
what happened to days?
Well,
miss the days.
I mean, and I like what he's saying. Well, I don't like what he's saying, but I'm just saying, like, based on maritime law, if a cargo ship gets a signal from NOAA saying you need assistance, are they
obligated?
Like obligated based on maritime law to okay, cargo is secondary now. We need to help the other vessel.
I don't know about the obligation, but I know about the Brotherhood of Mariners, and if you're out on the sea, it's like a pretty tight club, and anybody out here goes crazily out of their way to help out anybody else.
There you go.
And that's just the way it is.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
And so, I mean,
it's not like that. It's not like that here. We hoard all the toilet paper,
meat,
and then when people want anything, you give them nothing, and you tell them to go fuck themselves. Oh, it's not like that. It's not like that on land. I promise
the mainland is terrible.
Well, Brian, I don't want to take too much of your time, and I really appreciate you talking to us.
By the way, this is like super cool.
By the way, we
let me show you where we're at real quick. Hang on, you haven't even seen the outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you guys naked out here?
Oh, I hope so. I'm sorry. It's just
okay, this is our view. I don't know if you can see it now.
Yeah. Oh my Christ.
Yeah. And beautiful.
There you are.
That's our neighbor. Right there. That's our only neighbor. And there's Karen. There's the baby now.
Hi, guys.
How you doing?
Hi, guys. Thanks for doing this.
Oh, the baby.
Oh, look at that sweet babe. Wow. Oh, my goodness. What a sweet babe.
I'm telling you,
You're
Brian.
a blessed man.
Anyway,
you are a blessed man.
I feel good about life. I'm doing all right.
It's truly inspirational seeing someone basically do what they want to do, because I feel like most humans just miss their chance and never do it.
Well, we all just fall in, rank and file. You fall in.
It's easier to do that.
It is.
And it's been cool following you.
I hear that.
No, we're going to follow you even more than ever now, and hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to you again, under better circumstances. And if you're ever,
Florida.
we're Orlando, we're the, we can get to the coast. We love the coast. I mean,
I have a boat. I could drive out to.
Here we go.
Yeah, we'll get in Tom's Hurricane and we'll beeline it as fast as we can for the Bahamas.
My mom lives in Orlando, so my mom lives there, so
I didn't know that.
Awesome.
Next time I'm around, I'll drop by.
Oh,
man, we would love that. We'd love to have you in studio.
Well, again,
that'd be cool.
Yeah. And follow SV Delos on all social media. Follow the YouTube channel, and you can find out all the information through there if the people want to sign up to become supporters.
Can we help? Sign people up.
Yeah,
sign
up.
up.
Patreon.
Follow
Go to svdelos.com. All their information's there.
Throw a little coin there to help them out on their journeys. Follow them and enjoy the ride.
Yep.
Thanks so much, guys. It's been a fun chat.
Yeah, man.
100%.
Really, really fun. And hey, you guys stay safe out there, and thanks so much for your time, okay?
See you, Brian.
You will. You guys stay safe, too.
All right, man. Be good. There's Brian from Delos.
What a cool life to live.
He was just chilling, right? He was so relaxed.
Yeah, Sam was right. Sam was like, this guy looks hella chill.
He did. Super tan.
You know how?
Living the dream.
This is interesting.
He's living the dream, dude.
So I wanted to ask him if he had the same brotherhood of sailing a tattoo that I have right over here.
Oh, my God.
The waterman.
My waterman tattoo. Yes,
what if he
It's not real, Butler.
What if he saw it? He was like, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Go back to that guy. are you one of the watermen? And he's like, hoo ha! You get to like see some sort of like
it's called a shaka.
Yeah,
and yes, we have our own.
You have like
I'm still skeptical if you ever actually captained a sailboat around wherever the hell you said you did. God, there's no goddamn way. When I get in your truck, I'm terrified that we're gonna die. You think I'm gonna like get on a sailboat with you? I'm like, Captain Butler.
You hit a van. You hit a wheelchair van at Fun Spot, and I'm virtually certain that you nailed it so hard that the lady couldn't get her wheelchair back in, so she probably had to be airlifted out of Fun Spot's parking lot.
Every day you forget your wallet here. You have to come back. I'm going to trust you to sail a boat or anywhere. You'd be like, hey, where's the sail? Oh, we're dead.
What's my name?
Hey, but at least I won't forget that White Claw basket. So.
Okay. All right, you're fired. They're like, I'm serious. Get the fuck out of here.
and then I'm like, we'll be right back.
Man, if you were good at like deadpanning and you could cut it off, I know.
He's not good at
He knows me too
If he was good at deadpanning, the basket would have made it to the lady.
That's true. You're right.
He's not good at anything.
So I noticed with Brian, put on Instagram, he was like, when they were at a different Bahamian island, he was like, the days are rocketing by so fast. Every day he's like, I don't even know what day it is because it's the same routine. Like, wake up, swim with your daughter, eat breakfast.
That's what I do.
And then it's kind of an analogous to what we're dealing with. Like, you start falling into this routine of like not going anywhere, and then it started rocketing fast. I can't even believe today's Friday again.
It's May, yeah.
It seemed like yesterday was Friday. Like, so I can imagine with him, like when
his is more of a life and death than ours, though. Like, I get it. Ours is a little more risk.
Well, I know that.
But, I get it.
What I'm saying is,
if I don't drink these cheap beers, I will die.
Well, and kind of like living off the grid like that, you got to just lose track of time. Right?
Every day is the same.
But how great is
what
that?
What day is it? What month is it?
Great, I go into the opposite. A lot of people like that or don't like that. I like that. Like, I would love to be that.
Yeah. But I wonder if it's like you want it, because I'm sure they're probably tired of it.
Well,
just
you
like
always
we're
want
tired
what
of
you don't have, right?
But are they?
Look, I want a Tommy. I want a kid that will actually sit quiet for 3 seconds.
I'm saying
that I don't have.
Not tired of the lifestyle, tired of not being able to go to the next destination, and like because usually they're traveling.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So now they've been stuck in the same place.
85 days, yeah.
You can't because like he said,
it's kind of killing the whole adventure, right?
Yeah. All these countries, especially island countries, they don't want any visitors right now. So they're
close their ports. Yeah.
So they close everything. Yeah. So even Hawaii, they're like, nope. Like you have to. You can't be. And like I think the entire island of New Zealand shut down any visitors
for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, so you're if you're on a sailboat, there's nowhere to go, and you're just like now you're in paradise, which makes it easier than sitting in your 1-bedroom apartment. Doing nothing, but still, it's just like everything becomes monotonous.
I see. He was like, if you like to just sit and cuddle and get high and on the couch and watch Netflix, this isn't for you. And I'm like, God damn it! I like all those things.
All right, you want to take a break?
Yeah.
This is. I'm just going to play some music. I got to pee really, really bad. That was phenomenal. TomandDan.com for all things Tom and Dan, and enjoy this, and we'll be right back. How about that?
Being in this space has made me feel a bit more small, and I'm not quite sure where I'm going next. I'll try to use.
Don't let love bugs kick your ass. Get yourself some liquid glass. Get your gloves, put it on. My booty hole stank. It didn't rhyme.
You had it right.
I did have it right. And I blew it.
They're going to be like, why'd you say booty hole stank? I'm like, I'm sorry. That's his process. He had nothing. He went to booty hole. They're like, we're canceling our advertising.
Hey, that product's dope, though, man.
It is.
That stuff is really, really good.
So
now you told me something I didn't know, and I have one more question.
Yeah.
Will this work on my bike? Because I have a really like a slick, almost like a urethane coating on my bike I ride with Maisie. But when I ride, it gets like really dirty with like road grime. It's almost like a grease mixed with dirt. I'm thinking this is going to make it easier to wipe down.
100%. It puts a barrier. Now you could use it. Obviously, it's made for your windshield. And basically, if you go to liquidglassguard.com, make sure to use the promo code. Type in Tom and Dan. Caps don't matter. Just as long as you put Tom and Dan, you'll get 20% off.
And it's the word and.
Yes,
Tom and Dan.
And Dan. You'll get 20% off, and they'll send you a Tom and Dan gift.
Oh, that's awesome. And it's one application up to 6 months.
Yes, that's the great part about this is because everybody's kind of familiar with like hydrophobic chemicals you put on your windshield.
Sure.
That all the rain and the water just beads right off.
Yeah, it's nice.
But this
my
product,
dad thought it was magic.
Yeah, this product lasts 6 months, so you don't have to apply it. Because what you get other products, you have to apply it every 2 weeks, you forget. So then you're in a rainstorm, and you're like, what happened to my protection?
By the way, this is one of my favorite things to get. It's like a kit, so you get like the gloves, you get the applicator, you get all the stuff, and then you go out there, and I did it with you.
It's fast and easy.
If we can do it, come on.
Especially if I can do it. Think about me. If I can put this on, it's easy. The instructions are easy. Like you have an alcohol wipe to make sure to clean the windshield before.
Good,
Then you get your liquid glass guard wipe, and it's basically how the chemicals work. And it was explained to me, it's like adding an extra barrier of glass to your windshield, and it is like I was driving through the rain the other day. I have it on my whole windshield, and the water just beads off.
I don't even have to turn your wipers on.
Don't have to. And speaking of wipers, it saves your wipers and actually adds longevity to your windshield wipers because it adds a very slick coating that. And chips too. It'll protect your windshield from chips, from gravel.
Well, because it makes it super slick. You know, I mean, it's like I use it.
It adds a coating.
Here's what I use it on my. I don't have a video yet. I'm going to do one of doing my front windshield and then possibly my bumper.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to do my headlights too. But on my motorcycle, on my motorcycle, on my scooter, I did my mirror.
Yeah,
because it always they blow. These guys come over here and they blow. Then it gets dirt all over it. I hate it. The dirt doesn't stick to it anymore because I got it all cleaned up.
Especially for love bug season, you could put an application on your front bumper or in the front of your car where the love bugs, stick on. And it's easy. You could just
hose them right off.
Yeah, you wipe the love bugs right off. They don't bake onto your car, so that the acidity ruins the paint.
It'll eat through your paint coat.
So if you want that extra protection, again, go to liquidglassguard.com. Use promo code Tom and Dan. You get 20% off your order and a free Tom and Dan gift. So protect your windshield. The hydrophobic properties of this is awesome.
Yes.
6 months, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. And booty hole staying.
It's liquidglassguard.com.
You remember the band Bad Sons? Maybe you do. I think they played at Western Trading Company at one point years ago. Welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan, Samantha, Travis, Tom, everybody here. All right.
So we got a limited amount of time, so maybe we'll do some dump it out.
Barely touched our list.
Dump it out. Let's dump it out.
Yeah.
I don't have an intro yet. I'm working on it. I got part of it. Just not a good enough dump it out intro.
Who's dumping?
Oh, no. I don't want who's dumping.
Yeah, I can do that.
It's all the same. We're Dump Wednesday. It's like, not even Wednesday.
Who's dumping?
No.
Like a big old stinky shit out my ass. Who's dumping? Butler said it cause he is the absolute last. Who's dumping? Person that I would put in charge of the company because he can't be trusted. He's always high. And Tom brought up a good point during the interview. How the fuck does he drive to work every morning? We love dumping! Yeah!
Who's Dumping? Brought to you by some septic company that just signed on. Brown. Well, Daniel last week, he was like,
How
man.
dare you ruin my song?
That's your fault. You blame Butler, don't blame me.
How dare you, Butler?
If he plants the seed, I'm doing it.
Yeah, Daniel's like, we should just go through the list and dump out all the topics at the end of the show that we didn't get to because we didn't really get to any of them. So first,
Dump it out.
What's a bass?
It's base. It's huge.
Spelled the same.
No, I started writing it down because I sit on my balcony now.
It's all about.
I got my griddle. You know, I got my Blackstone griddle out there. I hung some vanity lighting out there. I cleaned it all up super nice. I got rid of all the spider's nests and everything. I cleaned the patio furniture.
You're listening to the
my God!
He's got
scared the shit out of me.
That scared the fuck.
I peed a little bit.
Okay, so I go out there and I hang out. And one of the things that I've noticed in hanging out and just listening to cars drive by is that bass is back, baby.
Oh, yeah,
and it's back in a huge way.
Yeah.
I mean, bass, the ones that are like, you are about to witness
this is a journey.
A disgusting amount of.
It rattles your trunk.
Yeah, and it's
the loudest thing you hear is the rattling of the car.
Exactly, yeah.
Like
all
that.
the locks.
Yeah.
But it's back, and my question was, and the reason I wanted Samantha to write that down is that a thing now? Is that back?
It is.
Is it?
I think it is.
I've heard it a lot while I've been driving around.
Okay, thank you. I think
it depends on the neighborhood.
No, dude, in my neighborhood, bass. I'm telling you right now, if you want to get on a new trend, well, it's not a new trend. If you want to get on an old trend, swinging back through,
I'll get a bazooka.
Yeah,
my Silverado. I'm like,
great! Pull up to the car loop with your fucking bass.
Hi there. I know I goofed on your basket, but you like well, who is this girl? Dua Lipa?
I need a truck topper, and then I'll put like 1712s in the back.
And then you put her in there.
You put 1712s in mud.
And then you always get the obligatory girl you put in there, and then you blast it full blast, and it blows her hair up, and then you're like, I'm on a video that's for my boys.
My YouTube channel.
He's playing Spotty Oddy Dopalicious. Stop, Tom.
What's Spotty Oddy Dopalicious?
Outcast?
Is that a super bass song?
Yeah.
Spotty Lottie Dopalicious.
Spotty Oddy.
So, I hear bass every once in a while in cars when I stop at stoplights, and then I always look over, and then when I see someone who is my age, I'm like, what are you doing? I don't know why. I just feel like it's a young man's game.
Raise your hand in this room if you have a subwoofer in your car for bass.
I used to.
Only you.
In my mini truck.
Only me.
Well, the aftermarket?
No.
Because it came. That doesn't count.
I got
it's factory.
I got an 8.
Yeah, but that's factory.
Hey, it'll vibrate your pussy lips while you're bullshitting.
I in my old S15 mini truck.
All right,
I got
now we're
2
talking.
Custom.
Yeah, and by custom you mean your boy Randy made them.
Well, they're kicker boxes. That they made custom so you could still sit because they had drop seats.
Yeah,
and then that's where I'd make the Wizard and Fernando sit back there when we go to. 3 Lakes and or to school. They'd sit on my tens.
What would you play?
Oh, NWA, Wu-Tang.
Okay.
And then bassy punk rock. It's not made for. Turn it down. I had trouble.
I like that. All right, what else we got?
COVID catchphrases.
Oh yeah, I wrote down I've been keeping in my phone a list of all the COVID catchphrases that I absolutely hate. Now look, man, I'm not taking this thing lightly, and I'm not goofing around, but I don't like.
I make fun of everything.
I make fun of everything. I don't like the catchphrases. I don't like we're all in this together. Together we go far stronger. Together, 3 betters. So cold needs a sweater. Let the virus out.
Is it together or separate?
I like who let the virus out.
There's 3 that the 2 I made up. That was Andrea's.
I like the catchphrase. Together, we'll all be okay. But I thought it was separate. Just together, anti-together. It's a separate. We'll all be good, right? What is that? What is it?
I wrote down. Here are the real ones. We're all in this together. Together we go far, stronger together. Andrea's, I go, give me a COVID catchphrase. I hate them. And she goes, together, 3 better, so cold, need a sweater. That was hers.
That?
I don't know. She's a nerd.
Is she writing a rap?
Mine was, who let the virus dogs out? Oh, wait, who let the virus dogs out?
All right.
Okay.
Tommy, for his birthday, Crystal put together little party packs and cheap tchotchkes,
Yeah.
And there was a ball with you seen those balls with suction cups on every single
You throw it a glass.
Yeah, you throw a glass and it sticks on because the whole thing is.
Oh yeah, the whole ball is suction cups.
Yeah, but it's like a center core, and then it has like little limbs with suction cups around the whole thing. And then it was kind of depressing because Tommy picked it up. It was a red one. He's like, "Look, coronavirus," and I laughed.
I was bit my wife off.
That's hilarious
because it looks like the fucking ball.
How does he know about this?
Again, going to your child is a genius.
Yeah, how does he know about that?
Well, I mean, people talk about it like.
But Maisie's just a bitch about it. Like, I'll be like, well, we can't do. Well, she's like, I want to go swimming. I'm like, well, the pool's still closed because she's like the virus.
Yeah.
And I go, the virus. She's like, God damn,
where's my? Where's my AR? I'm going to the goddamn Capitol.
I'm gonna stand in the front of the pool with my AR, wearing a bunch of tactical gear, with a beard and with a beer gut, looking like a piece of shit. And I'm gonna make sure you're opening this pool because I'm a selfish piece of shit. No, Maisie will be like, the virus, and I'll be like, yes, the virus. Just. So she hates it. She just hates it.
Where's my purse?
So, husband, small sacrifice.
Oh, this is an easy one. This is an easy one.
I have no idea what that means.
This is an easy one for dumping out. The other night, I figured you guys could really wail on me for this. The other night, my wife is on her period right now.
Okay.
Sorry to bring that up, but I was like feeling spicy, and I was like, hey, let's get spicy. And she was like, I'm on my period. And I was like, the virus. And no, I did say, I was like, God. She was like, but I'll suck it.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad Butler's getting mad. Because when I used to get mad, everybody's like, you're insane.
Sam, this is not out of the ordinary, right?
No.
I mean, I just don't.
Well, it's not out of the ordinary with you guys. I think me and Butler
this
are
is
the
a
norm.
50-50 split.
Yeah.
I mean, we are 50-50.
Yeah.
So I go to the bathroom, and we're having this conversation while I'm going to the bathroom and I'm peeing. And she's like, do you want me to suck it? And I go, nope. I go, I just peed, and I am a gentleman, and I don't want you to have piss mouth. And we both laughed, and we went to bed. And I did not.
Wow.
I didn't get the blowjob, but I contend.
This man's fucking so spoiled. He can turn down blowjobs.
I know.
I'm a gentleman. I'm not going to give a piss mouth.
You know what? I appreciate that.
No, it was fresh because it was on her mind. It was on my mind.
Right.
But we were having the conversation. She's in the bed. I'm peeing. I'm not going to give her piss mouth.
Butler's rubbing his
He's
forehead.
mad.
He's so mad.
He's mad. Hold on. Let me put your camera on.
If my wife offered me a blowjob, there would be nothing that I would. There's no reason to turn it. I could have lesions on my dick, and I'll be like,
man.
Maybe she wouldn't know. I'll hold the
she
bait.
wouldn't notice.
I'll hold the. I'll
wear a condom.
Anything. Anything to get it. Anyway.
Okay.
Never turn it down.
I knew that when we get a spicy reaction on Dump It Out. Whew. All right, what else we got?
We got meditation.
I forget what that one's
from
about.
a couple weeks ago, so you might not remember.
Next door with Tom. I don't
You
remember.
were looking at the Next Door app and we said this should be a segment.
Is it just you and...
Shit, my phone died. We'll do that.
My God. We'll do that next week.
But anyway, the joke was that Daniel's like, he's got Next Door app. It's just this app.
It's just white people yelling at black people.
Well, and Daniel's next door. He lives in a nicer neighborhood. And it's just full of racism.
A black guy was walking down the street. And like that shouldn't be on there.
And in Castleberry, the Next Door app is filled with like, hey, there's a snake near the Walmart.
If you want to eat it.
It's like,
That's like the Barry's. The Barry's like, there's a helicopter.
We get those where they're like, why are these helicopters out? Is it the blacks? And I'm like,
oh my God.
Jesus
And
Christ.
DeBerry, they're just like, what a flying bird with crazy wings that spin around.
God.
What is that?
There's death vultures.
What else we got? Oh, drinking carbonation too fast in the pain.
This has happened to both of you this past week.
It happened to me yesterday, and I didn't think I was going to recover.
Yeah.
Like, what is that thing?
Why
where
does that happen?
Like, you go to take
like a gas
here, I'm going to take a
pocket.
sip.
and if you swallow it in just the right way,
It's the wrong way.
The bubbles get caught, and then as they're going down, they're tearing your body apart. You're like, yeah! And it is so...
It gets stuck right in the center of your chest.
The bubble heart attack, yeah.
It is, but it feels like a heart attack. And I'm just like, and you have to grab something and you tense up like you're turning into the Hulk.
I had one earlier in the show. I started to laugh, and I had that, and I swallowed the laugh with the White Claw. I feel like I was having like a chest burster from Alien coming out of my chest.
How can some tiny bubbles cause that much pain?
Yeah, what is that?
It's the bubbles.
No, but there's got to be a thing.
But it's more like, okay...
Not today, Satan.
I vomited like once in 14 years, but other people know what vomiting feels like, and it's not as painful as that. No. How can a vomit coming out?
Vomiting's not painful to me.
But why? But
relieving.
The tiny bubbles.
I like a good vomit.
But tiny bubbles going down in the right way is the most pain I've ever felt.
Like when people get like super gaseous, like it makes you have like stomach pains, right? So it's the same thing. It's these bubbles, these air pockets getting stuck in like your...
In my heart.
Yeah, right in the heart.
It's crazy.
Like, how'd you make it in the heart, bro?
It hurts so bad.
It does. Yeah, I've had it happen.
It doesn't make any sense.
Let's jump to, well, here's a good one. When is the last time that Butler has raw dog?
Has what?
Raw dog?
Yeah, because we know you use condoms.
Yeah.
I mean, I typically do raw dog. It's just, it's like a hit and eject button real quick. It's like, hit that red, like, I gotta get out!
Wait, what? I thought you used condoms every time.
No, not every time. No. That's all if we got to finish inside.
Oh, you can't finish inside.
Yeah.
Not with the...
So you do pull-out method, and then when you want to...
Why can't you finish inside? Because she's not...
She's not a birthday.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
I don't want the kid.
Oh, it's good though. I like it.
Well, you aren't taking a chance doing the pull-out,
and
though.
now I leave it in.
I'm 99% sure I'm shooting blanks.
Okay.
No, I did it for 8 years or more longer than that. When we have a Tommy 6 years ago,
but everyone's different. Some people got more potent sperm than others.
My new thing now is I'm like coming, and I'm like, and I stay there, and I'm like, and I like try to. I'm like. I'm trying to get it all out. And I'm just like, leave it in. Hold on. It's still coming out.
Just let it get soft.
No, I'm serious. I try to do that because I don't want... The worst thing, and everybody deals with this, is pull out too fast. Wife goes to the toilet to let it plop out. Then you get under the covers, pull your covers up, and you can still feel it. If you're an older man like myself, and I'm not older, but 43, and I'm like sitting there and I can still feel it going...
I pee after sex. You don't.
No.
You got to. You got to clean out the pipes.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard to pee.
Well, you got to give it a beat.
Yeah. Give it a beat.
If I go in there, it's 25 minutes. I'm just
oh my god!
And at first I got to push my boater through the hole.
It's like you got to work whatever other stuff through.
I got to blow the cum out first.
And it's like it takes a long time.
Well, you got to drill press it. You just got to kind of like squat and just like drive it straight down into the toilet bowl, and then you pee, and then it can't go anywhere but in the.
You know what? You deserve to use condoms.
Speaking of being gross, what's the grossest thing you've ever seen?
Not ever seen, but ever felt. And he's here today. I don't know if my wife did my wife take Caesar back home?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
He's got a gun. Who's sitting there with a real gun? He's like, you motherfucker.
I haven't seen him, so yeah, maybe.
He does this thing. Little dogs do this thing in the morning when they're like stretching, where they do a hump. This dude does it like, He do this thing.
No, he doesn't
they're
quite.
just like, and they have a big, long. Caesar's dick is long and red,
big
and it comes out like a candy cane, and it goes up and over. It's huge. Proportionately, he's a goddamn cuckold, like he's the bull. And he was doing one of his dances, and he had the big lipstick wet. And I was getting dressed to come here. I was putting my clothes on, and he's on the couch or on the carpet, like, and I was putting my sandals on, and he walked over my feet, and he drug his wet red dick over both my feet, and I could feel it just go, and I looked down, and there was a little trail across my toes. Thank you. There you go. Grossest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Why did he drag his wet dick over your toes?
He's a bully. He's a goddamn piece of shit bully. And I'm going to kill him tonight. In his sleep.
And
one more.
Either Dan Dennis questions or a Manscaped?
Okay, the Dan Dennis questions is we're going to need some homework for this one, so this is a good one to end on.
Okay.
There's a group.
This will go over really well with the poems.
I've talked about the group before. There's a group on Facebook called like Dan Dennis. and it's like it's only for men named Dan Dennis that can grow, like can join the group.
And there's a lot of guys from Africa.
All Africans.
Yeah,
I'm the only like North American guy in there, and it's like hundreds of guys. And I want a quintessential list from either you guys or listeners. We need 5 like questions to determine what makes a true Dan Dennis, right? Because there's some reason why. Like,
are you just trying to find out what you all might have in common?
Yes,
okay.
But why are all these Africans named Dan Dennis? And it obviously it must have navigated its way over to North America, and I got the name, right?
Well, it was probably more like white people went over there and took over some land,
enslaved them, and then gave them that name.
Yeah.
Sure, that's fine.
Like Europeans.
But I would imagine after generation to generation, I mean, you could have like gotten rid of that if you really wanted
Well,
to.
I guess a family name, or it's like maybe back in the days, you know how some people are named like their Butler.
Their trade.
Like Butler, like that probably started, the origins was there was a Butler.
Yeah, kind of like last name Shoemaker and so forth like that.
People used to only
100%.
have first names, and then when people started, and towns got bigger and civilization, and like all of a sudden there was 2 like Travises, and they're like, well, you're Travis Butler because that's your job.
Because you're the butler, yeah.
And then I think that's how the origin of last name started.
I think you're right.
I don't know.
So we need 5 quintessential questions because in my
maybe you're a Dan Dentist, and it just got
could. But we actually tested it a little bit today, like talking to the Delos guy, because like now I think we can Skype into Africa
and talk to
get some of these like OG Dan Dennises on the line and kind of find out what being a Dan Dennis in like Kingston, Jamaica, or being in Cape Town, South Africa, because
talk to all different Dan Dennis.
Predominantly they are either
Dennis Jamaican,
Caribbean
reggae.
or African traditionally.
Yeah, we should definitely do that.
So anyway, I'm putting it into the universe. That's our homework. Like, what do you think the 5 questions? Make it as goofy as you want to. They're funny in there. They always make jokes.
Are you crazy? Got it. Yes, got it. There it is. Done.
Can you turn down BJ's?
Look, I didn't want to give her pee mouth. Anything to plug before we get out of here? I didn't want to, I had piss all over my dick.
So,
and it's different for me than it is for you. If you shake, like a solid 98% of your piss is off your dick. For me, with my foreskin, there's a little more in there.
Oh, yeah.
You could give it a good splash in the sink.
Oh,
and
I had
clean
a whole
yourself up.
carafe ready for her.
Yeah, milk it till it's dry and then clean it up.
No, stop it. And I'm not going to do the paper towel on the tip because I know guys do that.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. I'm not.
So I'll plug a couple things.
Yeah, do it.
One is anytime we have an interview, because I just thought of this, maybe hit the person that we interviewed up on Instagram.
Throw them a couple bucks.
Let them know you heard them on the show.
Yeah, because honestly, in this day and age where, Brian from Delos doesn't know the show, whatever.
No.
He doesn't know if anybody's listening. So when they take their time to do this.
He did us a favor, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
They got like 500,000 YouTube followers.
Yeah. It's cool
Christ.
to like just hit them up and be like, hey, I heard you on Tom and Dan. I'm going to follow you, whatever. Like any sort of feedback.
It's also really interesting. You're not going to be disappointed. It's a great follow.
Yeah. That helps us because any feedback, they're like, oh, someone's listening. Because believe me, people do, like when they hang up, like I've done it before. I've done interviews on different podcasts.
About to do Remy's podcast, aren't you?
I hang up, I'm like, I wonder if that was a complete waste of time. Like I wonder if anybody's listening to the show I just did an interview on. So it does help. Second, we are only about 30 BDMs away from a goal. Like you guys have really supported us, especially during this time.
Well, we're trying to get to 30 BDMs.
And we're at 17 now. So
we're almost there.
Close.
With that Bert Kreischer push, I think we'll make it.
If we counted my mom and my aunt.
You giving them free accounts with your password, we know.
I did. So if you sign up to become a BDM, it'd be cool to hit a milestone that would be that we've been trying to hit for a while. And, it ebbs and flows. And I think during this time, a lot of a lot of our listeners have supported us and become BDMs. And
that's the funniest thing Tony has ever said. Tony said we have 22 BDMs, 11 paid.
Damn it.
Oh, yeah. I know, because people's accounts, that's another thing, too. Like, people sign up, and then you change your credit card, and then you'll get an email from us. But, like, if you're like me, I'm like, I'll do that later. And then you procrastinate and you never do it. So, we're looking at actual, because believe me, we've had a lot of BDMs that have, fallen off or like changed accounts and forgotten.
We had a guy hit us up yesterday and said, hey, I fell off. And then he gave us like some money. He gave us a donation. He's like, I want to prop up. I want to help you guys because I know you're a small business and times are tough. And this is for the time I wasn't a BDM and I'm back in. So, hey, we appreciate that. We really, really appreciate that.
So it'd be a cool milestone if we just got like, I believe 30 more BDMs.
30 more, yep.
And we'd hit this. So if you can sign up, if you're in the financial situation to do that, obviously don't sign up if you don't have a job or whatever. Like, please.
And if you're a BDM, can raise your BDM level by 1 or more. Hey,
throw us an extra $1.
That really does help the company. But hey, we're more concerned about pumping out good content for you guys. Hope you enjoyed the show today. I got to tell you, I had a blast today.
Yeah,
today was super fun. I needed that, man.
It was a fun show. And also, another podcast you should support is Semantics.
Hey, help me pay my mortgage.
Yeah. Well, you're buying a house. You're moving in.
Close on Monday.
Close on Monday, but move, I guess.
We're essentially going to start moving in Monday, yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so proud of you. That's so awesome.
It's cool. And the first house...
we wired all our funds, so sign up for my Patreon. Patreon.com/Semantics.
There you go.
And listen to Semantics, where all podcasts are heard. You can get it anywhere.
Yep.
If you want to help Butler buy condoms, you can go to condomsforbutler.org.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Okay. /direct.
Get an extra small.
Oh, come on.
He's British.
You're gonna bully him?
I was saying.
He ain't lying.
He's British? Is that a thing that British guys have small dicks?
Yeah. Second only to Chinese.
I did not know that.
That's what I heard.
I heard it too.
I've got a gun!
But it's little.
I got a little gun!
He's got Okay, guys.
All right, yeah. Be safe out there.
Cute over.
We'll see you next week.
Oh, wait a minute. I can't publish that. It's mediocre.
And now it's time for the Tom and Dan end of the show footnotes. Today you heard music from
Days in Days. Now, what type of music do you call this? No idea, but I think it's perfect for what we're all dealing with. Fun, creative, different. Is it folk? Is it punk? Is it both? Wait, I just heard a horn. Okay, is that a guy? Is that a girl? What's happening here? How many members do they have? You heard their song, Flurry Rush, and yep, this is my pick of the week. By the way, they do call their music H-Town Thrash Grass. I like that. Nice work, Houston. Next up was new music from the Barstool Preachers. We've played them before. You might be hearing a bit of a theme from the bands I'm spinning today. It's sort of like they think we're not at the highest point that we could be as a society. With that said, you heard the song When the World Ends from their brand new soundtrack to Your Apocalypse. Such a great song. I love the little ska flip they do at the end. Fucking great. Chloe Moriando was up next with a new song off of her newest release entitled Spirit Orb. So talented as a songwriter, also as a YouTuber, she's sort of a perfect example of how the music world and how you get your music heard has completely shifted. YouTuber, millions of subscribers, puts out records now on her own. Well done. You heard her song Bugbear. We closed out the show with new music from Bad Sons. Now, I know we've played these guys on the show before, but they got a new single out, so why the hell not? You heard their song, I'm Not Having Any Fun. And on that note, I hope you had fun today, guys, and we will see you Monday.